Last time on Star Trek The Next Generation.
Special guest from Wicked Realm Games, the QA manager. Welcome to Ben.
I do have one more thing, actually. I'm going to try to send you this over chat.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's obscene, Ben. Why did you send that to us? Get it off the screen.
We were genuinely not expecting this, right? So I have to try and bring this up on stream live. And he's a sod because it's a black background, so I'm going to have to find... How the hell am I going to do this? So a black on black background's not going to show up, so we need a small break while I need to find something to... Yeah, we have no idea either.
I bet he's enjoying this, and you know
what? I bet he is. Hang on.
Enjoy it too.
Rescuing us.
Right, stump me, right.
This is the greatest thing to happen in the history of the game, and we're the only 3 witnesses to it.
Mr. Worf. Fire.
And now, the conclusion.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live in Technicolor from the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California. The show where the total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timelines Talks! Featuring guest musical performers, Metallica frontman, oh my, it's Stars and Garter. Also featuring, hey buddy, you're a tier 9. Look out, it's Automaton 2000. And now, from Spreadsheet City, here's your host, Captain Idol.
Yes, welcome ladies and gentlemen to a special, very special edition of Timelines Talks, the #1 talk show for all things Star Trek Timeline. See, I did a nice little plug there. As always, I'm joined by my fantastic hosts. Above me is Automaton 2000. Down below, for some reason, according to Discord, is Stars and Garters. And this week we have the very special return of the Wicked Realm Games QA manager, Ben. Welcome, Ben. Thank you very much for coming back to us.
I'm back.
Hey,
back and better than ever.
He's back. We need that James Brown song. He's back. We need that playing in the background somewhere. How are you, Ben, first of all?
I'm doing really good.
Excellent.
I got some cool stuff to talk about today. But first, I wanted to just say something starting off. Last time when I was on stream, you called me a sod.
It's an affection. It's a term of endearment. Hey, I did shoot you with photon torpedoes just now, so, you know, I think we're...
Yeah, that was an amazing intro, by the way. That was amazing.
I thought you'd like that. But yes, welcome back. Yes, we will have this week on the show, we will be having a little less questions from us. We'll have a few questions from ourselves, but mostly it's going to be community questions and then maybe a little something later on. But Otto, I believe you have a little bit of something to start with.
Yeah, I wanted to appease any concerns out there. You may have noticed from our intro today, today's show will be a little bit lighter in tone. We received several pieces of feedback through the mailbox, timelinestalks@gmail.com, saying that last time we were, quote, too professional and uptight. In fact, I have a letter here from a Mr. Enjamin. No, that's too obvious. Let's say Mr. Ben. And he wrote, "Hello, Timelines Talks. I really enjoyed your previous episode with Ben from Wicked Realm Games. It was a real treat to get a peek into the mind of the talented, handsome, brilliant, and single employee of Wicked Realm Games. My only issue was that the show was too formal. You see, my personal motto is wine, women, and fast cars. It would be great if next time Ben is on your stream, he were to be enjoying an adult beverage in a responsible manner. P.S. I really, 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 really hope Ben comes back on the show." Well, Mr. Enjamin, I have some good news for you. I'm told that Ben has brought with him tonight a selection from his private villa in Southern California. Is that right, Ben?
Yeah, I wish. But yes, I have. Here's my nice glass. Nice detailed glass.
Oh.
And I got probably the greatest name of a beer
That
ever,
is brilliant.
Space Metal Dinosaur. So,
Oh, I've got to look that up.
yeah.
See, I thought it was going to be so cool coming in the stream with something called Redneck and something called Hendrix, but he's got space metal dinosaurs.
I know, you just can't beat it. I think what have I got? I've got a nice can of luminous lights, which I bought purely for the. I think I've shown this one before. This is the one that's rated at 2 pant for some reason, which I have no idea what that is. Stars, what have you got for us tonight?
I have a soft drink.
Because you are infamously you are quite teetotal, aren't you?
He's the designated driver.
Well, last stream, kind of needed one.
Okay, so we have a few. We have a few questions from ourselves, and then we'll get straight on to the community questions. So, first question from myself, Ben, is, we see these every Tuesday, every once in a while. We see the developers own 6-pack of crew they choose, and if you ever had the chance to put together your own 6-pack in the time portal, who would you pick if you've not been given that right?
Yeah, I haven't, sadly, yet, but recently, reading this question prior, talking to my coworkers about it, and they're like, "Why haven't you? You've been working on Star Trek for 3 years now." So we're in the process of getting my own dev pack, which is pretty cool. Haven't decided which person I want. I think it would be cool to get a lower decks character in there, but that's still nothing official yet. But
we are live, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah.
You know what you should do? You should just have like a pack that's nothing but like one lower decks character, and then all other characters named Ben that are in the game. I don't know if there are 5.
Oh, Cisco.
Yeah, you've just got 5 versions of Cisco.
Ari Bin Ben. Huh?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just do a pack of red shirts, just random red shirts from Star Trek. So.
Just underselling yourself like that. So another one from me. I say another one. It's my first one.
It's your first.
Am I the one that's not drinking? Do you play any other games like video games, board games, pets games? It's the case of like a tabletop like a D&D during your free time, and have any of them inspired you to bring an idea or a feature into Timelines?
Yes, of course, all of us at Wicked Realm Games, we're all gamers. Last night I was actually just playing Fall Guys with one of our designers.
Oh, cool.
And that game is just ridiculous, and it's amazing. So I've been playing a lot of Fall Guys recently. I play Call of Duty every once in a while, Warzone, like Battle Royales. I've been getting more into Battle Royales and stuff like that. But yeah, we get reference and inspiration from all other games. One thing I can really think of there is one of our, I forget who on the team, but they were playing another game and saw the campaign feature in a mobile game and thought, how would that work in Star Trek? And so, so we just had a conversation, and next thing you know, we were just, the conversation went on for an hour, 2 hours. Designers were brought in, engineers were brought in, and there was this big thing. And it happened to fall into what our goals were for that time of the year. And so we ran with it. Yeah. So yeah, we take reference from all the games.
It's pretty awesome when things dovetail like that. Now I'm really tempted to ask you about which battle royales you play, because I play a few myself, but that would be getting way off track. And this is a allegedly timeline stream. Your best experience traveling abroad and your favorite food or drink while you were there. And no, you cannot say your room and the beer you're drinking right now. That's out.
Yeah, I love this question. Like my fiance and I, we love to travel. And so this COVID thing's been pretty difficult not being able to travel as much. But my best experience, which is kind of corny, but it was last year. We went on a cruise through the Mediterranean with my fiance and her family. And so we started off in Spain, Barcelona. We spent a few days there, seeing the city. And we stayed in this amazing hotel, and we happened to get a free upgrade to the presidential suite, which was ridiculous. And it was just balcony over the whole city using the 30-something floor. It was absurd.
All right, calm down.
Yeah, in the suite, no, it was ridiculous. Like the suite had 2 floors in it, had 11 rooms. It was just ridiculous, and we just happened to get a free upgrade. So that was amazing.
This is what our dilithium purchases pay for. Can you believe it?
No.
The next time you pull
that
Prisoner
was
Kim,
luck.
just
That
be
was the
assured that
upgrade,
Ben
so.
is having a nice time in Zante or wherever.
Yeah, it was that was an amazing experience. But the cruise went from Barcelona to Mallorca, which is an island off of Spain. We hit Sicily, and then we hit a few ports in Greece: Santorini, Athens, Mykonos, and then back to Malta, and then back to Barcelona. Yeah, and that's like a dream. That was a dream trip for us. That's something we've always wanted to do. So that was a really cool experience.
The Med is lovely. I've been to a few holidays in the Mediterranean, to anywhere Greece, it's Turkey. It's just lovely.
Yeah, and throughout the trip, I am a beer connoisseur. If you couldn't tell already. So I tried as many local brews as I could throughout that whole trip, and I mean it was amazing just to taste what beers are and elsewhere in the world, because they are really different. So that was really cool. That trip's definitely my favorite, because I actually got engaged on that trip too. So that's a special one for me.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. And as for food, probably the cannoli and lotto in Sicily. That's the only thing I've ever had. That was amazing.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, I hit.
Look,
Oh, I got to ask before we move on, did the presidential suite help seal the deal with the proposal? Did that really put it over the top?
Yeah, it must have.
She was thinking, this is what life with Ben will be like going forward.
Presidential suites in foreign cities, yeah.
And then as soon as you get home, it's like, no, I've got to lock myself in a room and talk to these geeks again.
How dare you insinuate that we're not a step up from that? All right. One more sort of personal question for you. Last time you were on, I feel so bad about this because you told us that you had met John Delancey, the actor for Q, on a Zoom call. And we're like, yeah, that's cool. So anyway, next question. And then we had in Marine Q, the crew was released recently in a 6-pack, and we were talking about him on stream, and you popped in to chat and said, oh yeah, and he released a message too, and we just kind of breezed by that too. So I'm going to pull the car around and stop and ask, how cool was it talking to him? What did you guys get to talk about? Is this like your celebrity crush?
Yeah, I mean, that was really cool to meet him. And this is our writer and John Delancey actually wrote the whole story for Timelines. And they still continue to talk after that. So this was right after COVID really started to get serious, and where everyone switched to work from home, and we were grinding, we were doing awesome with our work, under the circumstances. And our writers like, maybe we should have a meet and greet with Q, and we're all just like, oh, that'd be amazing. So yeah, he's a really cool guy. Yeah, he was so interested in each individual job that we all did too, which was really cool. So he's not some above actor above everything, he was like genuinely interested in what we all did, and really impressed with what we're able to do with Star Trek Timeline. So yeah, he's a really cool guy, very down to earth. He also loves to travel. He has a boat, and we talked about sailing through Greece and stuff a lot too. So yeah, he's a really cool guy.
So are we going to get
I definitely did kind of have that, like, oh my god, it's Q kind of moment, and freaked out a little bit. But yeah.
Are we going to have the Ben and John Delancey sort of, the Ewan McGregor series where him and his mate went on the bikes down through Africa? Are we going to have the Ben and John Delancey across the Mediterranean series soon?
I would love to see that. Yeah.
Okay, so any other personal questions before we move on to the main course, as it were?
What are you talking about? This is the main course.
This is the best bit.
See, we have this weekly struggle where we try not to be too entertaining before the show and use up all of our conversation topics. So he's told us some good
I do have one quick thing that so last time I sent you guys a silhouette, a blackened silhouette. Took you guys a few minutes to figure it out. but that was too easy, way too easy. So this time I'm going to make things a little more difficult.
Why?
That being said, dash space dash dash dash.
Is this Morse code?
Ben.
The ship has been attacked by Andorians.
Okay, chat, your job is to rewind.
Yeah,
Translate
now that we're
that.
on YouTube, you can rewind the live stream. So
if anyone,
someone write that down.
Yeah, please. You're actually giving us Morse code. Have we got into that level of
I
All right.
they call something LG.
Got to make it harder.
You have, haven't you?
Okay.
Is this
while
to
our
do with the
crack
Bitcoin
Cypher
thing?
team is working on that. Let's move ahead. I had a
Yes.
couple questions before we move to the community stuff about dilithium in general. The first one being, we've had all these sources of dilithium added to the game, ranked event rewards for the top, 1,000? Campaigns, offer wall, etc. In fact, this idea came to me while playing a game through the offer wall. Will we have an option if we watch an ad to get a small payout of dilithium, say 5 or 10 crystals, instead of completing the mission for watching the ad?
Do you realize what you did, Otto? Now I have to go create a proposal for that, and I have to pitch it to the team. And yeah, well, we'll see. You just put more work on my plate.
Is that an I like the idea, I want to steal it, or?
I mean, a lot of other games do that.
This is where we have an announcement come out. Ben from WRG just have this amazing idea. Oh, okay.
Okay, so in the maybe pile, another dilithium question. Was it an intentional choice? When you get a Voyage revival token, you can't revive anymore with dilithium. Was that an intentional choice to not be able to choose between them? And if so, was that done to make those really long multi-day voyages harder to complete, or was there some other reason?
Yeah, that was intentional. We had to balance it in that way. The initial design for the revival tokens was actually like oops, we took down our servers and you guys weren't able to claim, to revive or bring back your voyage. So here's something that you can do that with. So yeah, I mean, the initial design was oops, we broke something. Here's something to revive your voyage and fix it. But to give you the option would also require a lot of UI work on our end. And we wanted more of like a quick fix there too. And it lets us able to balance that more. If you're able to choose, you could spend dilithium in the beginning to revive a few times and then spend tokens later. And we didn't want players hoarding up that much without, with picking either to use the token or not. So really, it was just a design balance choice for that. Yeah. In addition to that, dash comma dash dot. Next question.
Someone stop this man. Someone stop this dashing rogue.
This is only the beginning.
These are like the long
beginning.
to the test account.
We've got a few.
Infinite dilithium.
We've got a few hints from chat here. We've got 42 from Astam, or sorry, that should be 40 from Barkley, or 4 and the letter O. So wink 3 times if we're close, Ben. Okay. Auto, I think you got one more thing, haven't you?
Yeah, one more question, I guess, tangentially related to dilithium. This is something that I've actually heard from a lot of players, and I thought, well, he's coming back on the stream, let's ask it. It was sort of hotly debated on the forums this last week, too. I'd like to know Wicked Realm's take on the monopolization of faction events by a few 1, 2, 3 players that are winning the majority of these events, and the money investment aspect of faction events at large. Because VIP 0 and low spending players can and have won the other event types, but factions seem like they're much harder to win without spending these days.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we have a few different types of events that kind of cater towards, a more variety of players, how they want to play. But yeah, this specific thing, we are aware of it. And we are looking at the reward structure, and how that reward structure can be modified to provide more incentive for a variety of players. That's not going to be coming anytime soon, but hopefully the beginning of next year. But yeah, we are aware of that, and that's something that we're looking at.
In the pipeline, that's good to know. Just before we move on, what is Rick and Rome's game's take on the monetization of skirmish events by a player known as Automaton 2000? And
I don't spend money. I damn near kill myself, but I don't spend money.
People that get to number 1 on skirmish events are a special breed.
Play all night. Yeah.
That is a
special kind of person.
a special kind. No
Plan
detrimental.
out your food breaks. Plan out your
Yeah, it's a lot of planning. Okay, that's our mess about session. Have you got any more code for us, Ben, or shall we crack on?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Just for clarification.
Left, right, up, down.
Yeah. It's the Konami code. There we go. We've cracked it. Just so chat and the viewers know, we had no idea what any of this is, so you're as much in the dark as we are. Okay, so let's move on to the community questions, and thank you very much for everyone on Reddit, on Discord, that emailed us, on the forums, that sent us questions. We couldn't include them all because we are sort of limited on time, but we tried to get as many as we could in that were sort of what we could, and I've got a few held over for hopefully for next time. So this next question was asked quite a few times, so I haven't included everyone, but this was sort of the most requested questions, so we put it right at the top of the bill. Crew slot sales, are we expecting one coming up soon? And part of my one of my questions would be, do you have kind of like a timetable for these things? Do you plan out when the next crew slot sales are, or do you kind of look at the clock and go, oh my, is that the time? Hit the button.
Yeah, we have right now we have certain things planned out a month and a half advance. As of right now, we have nothing in the timetable for that. But we've heard a lot of this on the forums. So that's something that we're going to be talking about and trying to fit it in.
Okay. Next question we have is from Seven. This is for those that don't know, Seven was on the stream a few weeks back, and me and her had a very good drunken talk about timelines, whilst Big stood there very stunned. But this is from her, so she has 7 of 1 has 7 questions. Number 1, when are they removing trainers from Gauntlet? Number 2, why are there trainers in Gauntlet? Number 3, when will the rewards table in Gauntlet be updated? Number 4, are there plans to remove trainers from Gauntlet? Number 5, do they plan to update the rewards in Gauntlet? 6, why are there blue trainers in Gauntlet? Number 7, suggestion, remove trainers from Gauntlet.
Yeah, Gauntlet is such a hate it, love it. Man, I see it on the forums all the time. I know you guys talk about it too. But we've been hearing more of this feedback around Gauntlet. And I don't think we've updated the Gauntlet loot table in a while too. So I know we recently fixed a Gauntlet bug to make, during our quality of life kind of focus there, to make that feature more stable. But we didn't go and go back and update those rewards there. So what reward structure would you guys like to see in the Gauntlet? What kind of rewards without the obvious stuff like thousands of Dilithium?
Actually, an idea I hear all the time that I would really like would be instead of the exclusive Gauntlet crew, some kind of token that you can turn in to get either a behold of 3 Gauntlet crew or turn it in, like say in the honor hall, to get the one that you want. And that might make it a little too easy to specifically collect the ones you want, but even a behold, I think, would introduce a little more flavor.
Mm-hmm. I'd probably see something along the lines of like the skirmish loot table. There's little pings of honor there, little ping of well, we already get the Chronoton, little ping, maybe the odd well, that's it. It's only honor, isn't it? Thinking about it. Sorry, thinking on the fly there. Yeah, maybe a little.
Pull,
yeah, credits too. I think.
Voyage tokens would be another one to potentially add. I think that'd be interesting. Obviously, you'd have to make that one pretty rare because, as you mentioned, you can stack those for achievement. But making them the same sort of rarity as maybe like the 5-star crew or the premium pulls would be an interesting idea.
Now we're going to get 30 intel from the Gauntlet. Thanks a lot.
Adding to that, just on a side track, you've we don't discuss this, but I figured you'd be fine with it. You've been doing the care packages lately, which has been giving us a voyage token, chronotons and things like that. Now they've been carrying on. They've been absolutely fantastic. Do you have a timetable? Sorry, we didn't include this one, but I figured. Do you have a timetable for those, or how long they're going on for? Because it's quite a nice sort of gesture of support.
Yeah. We decided to do that just because of the situation that everyone is in, right? With the COVID. It's not just affecting some people; it's affecting everyone. And even we've had a lot of changes just from our work aspect of life, switching to work from home, and still keeping up with content and getting everything out, every week. And so we knew that everyone, this is a new thing for everyone, and it's scary for everyone. So we wanted to do something that it's not much, but the things that we can do, we can give you some free stuff. So I don't know from a timetable how long we can continue, or we will continue to do it. But I can tell you we have one scheduled for next week for sure.
Awesome.
Next week, I think next week. Because I think we had one this week. Or no, we had one last week.
Yeah, it was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this next one's from General Hart on Discord. Thank you, General Hart.
Hold on, he didn't answer Gauntlet questions 2 through 7 yet.
Okay, this one's from General Hart on Discord.
Yeah, hang on.
Sorry, Ben, say that one again. You broke up a little bit there.
No, just say that to answer that the Gauntlet question, the loot. We'll have to take a look at that and try to fit it into our backlog and see what we can do.
Awesome. Okay, so this next one's from General Hart on Discord. He has 2 questions to ask you. I'd like to know if they have plans to add any more variation to the Voyages, either with new dilemmas, crew, or both, which kind of touches on what we were just speaking about, or any other plans that they may have to improve on existing systems. Designing new game modes is brilliant, but there are a number of comparatively simpler things they could do to inject new life into the game. Thank you.
Yeah, as for Voyages, there's no plans now. The last time I was on stream, I think we got a great suggestion that around setting up multiple voyages in the same structure as PvP. So like 1 to 3 starships, 3 to 4 starships, and 4 to 5 starships, and you can send out, multiple voyages. I love that idea, and I know the team loves that idea. Just thinking about if we were ever to do that, we have to do a bunch of things, and one is update the loot table for each of them, right? And add loot tables for all those. A side note, I was finally able to repro the stuck voyage bug. And this is one that I personally haven't been able to repro forever. But my account is now stuck, and now waiting for a free engineer to take a deeper look into it. We've been able to repro it before. Support. Yeah, we've been able to repro it before, but this one seemed like more of a myth to me because I had never seen it. So finally, I can sleep at night knowing that I was able to get it. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, we'd have to update the loot tables and do a lot more balancing, but we don't have any plans for Voyages around that now. But for other features, yeah, I think it's not just a mobile game developer problem. I think it's a games problem. Is that other things seem to always get prioritized and never be able to go back and update older features. That's something that we try to have more of a balance of. I think we've actually done pretty decent with that recently with updating the honor hall crew. Updating the Gauntlet crew since I was last on. So we're trying to move resources around to enable us to do that more. It's just really difficult. But which feature would you guys like to see change, or most important change? Gauntlet or Voyage? There's so many things that we could potentially do, but I kind of want to hear what your opinions are.
I would just throw in that also Commander Tomalak had his art updated, which is a small thing, but it's always nice to see him.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the ship UI also got updated, so you can
Yes.
sort by rarities and stuff. I don't remember exactly when that happened, but that was a really nice sort of quality of life adjustment.
Yep.
I think there was one thing that was addressed, though, even though the ship UI was updated, it wasn't completely across the board. Like, there are still things like when you go into ship battles, which obviously people sort of outgrow after a while, but it's still the old style. You've got to scroll through. There's a local amount of crew, which for those that like to set nice fancy artwork for their bridge crew is a bit of a pain, because there doesn't seem to be any kind of rhyme or reason scrolling through. So maybe the same kind of thing that is in skirmish mode, where you can, a little search option just for your crew. I think that was a silly little thing, but it's a little UI change. I think I quite like that.
I think on the whole, just more ways to use our crew, because
yes,
you may collect 200-300 legendaries, some of us have, but you're not voyaging with them all, and you can only send out so many shuttles at a time. So yeah, the triple voyage thing, or if I say more purchasable shuttles, people will crucify me, so I won't say that. But just more systems that we can use the crew that we've already collected and spent resources to acquire.
On a similar note to the voyage with the multiple voyage, like a uncommon or rare or super rare only Gauntlet would be quite cool, because even in the as us have looked at the stats, even in the rare and the super rare league, there are some absolute monsters of voyages. Of Gauntleteers there. It'd be quite nice to field them without them getting destroyed by the current mainstay. So yeah, more range of ways to use our crew that we're collecting, and then just going right straight to the freezer. They're taking up a crew slot. It'd be nice to actually get them out and use them again.
I like it.
Yeah, for me personally, I'd probably say more collections, just because I'm a bit of a fiend, especially for the holodeck enthusiasts. Like, even though that version of Janeway is like, okay, it's just a case of, no, but if you put the crew together like this, and you get, I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. I also think some kind of like reroll system for all frozen beholds would be nice.
Yeah.
Maybe like a token that you can get through like achievements or through events, where it's just a case of, I have all these crew, hit and then use a token, or maybe like a XYZ amount of dilithium, and then you can just get a fresh reroll. I think that would be a nice sort of quality of life thing, just because I think you've mentioned it, having running across it yourself. It's just a case of there's nothing quite like seeing frozen, and it's like, but
yeah.
Okay. General Hart's next question was, how easy would it be to add some Admiral tools, give them the ability to create or delete squads, easily move people between them, and assign squad leaders, etc.? Admirals need more tools at their disposal to effectively run their fleets, and I think, it's a little bit of a, give the people a little bit more sort of control over sort of what they've got, because there have been a few instances with sort of fleet control over the last few months.
Yeah. Comma, dash. As far as Admiral tools, there's no plans there. And it's funny, like when you pull it like when you sound like that, it does sound easy. But for new Admiral tools, all that backend work, that is not easy. Definitely would not be easy. But that stuff deals with our back platform, and and I think we already have a UI issue on that panel where you can promote, demote, etc. When you can do all those things, it kind of stretches that. So there would have to be a bunch of UI work to be included in that as well to add more Admiral, permissions and whatnot. But as far as that question, like how easy would it be? And it's definitely not easy. And it would require a lot of testing too, because there's a lot of different states that the player can be in as well. Being an admiral, being a officer, being a squad leader, not a squad leader, officer. So there's so many different states that we would have to do specific coding for and specific testing for. But we do understand that frustration, and we know people want more power there to kind of manage their fleet, and we're hoping to address it in the future. There's no plan currently to address that. That's on our roadmap.
Cool.
Just as that,
sorry,
you go.
No, please.
What I was going to say is that something that I think a few players not necessarily aren't aware of, but need to keep in mind, is that with adding new features like that or sprucing up old ones, it's not just a case of bolting on a new feature onto old features. It's just a case of okay, so XYZ amount of states that the player can be in, and then it's a case of what do we code for? What if you promote someone and then you lose connection halfway through, or what if something goes balk on the server side? It's like you have to make sure you test for each and every one of these eventualities and make sure that 900 million times out of 9 billion, whatever, that it works, because the one time it goes wrong, that can mess up all kinds of other things. So it's not quite as easy as just bolting things on.
Ben is looking at you with such love in his eyes right now. He's like, he understands my pain. Through sharing the pain comes the healing.
Yeah, I mean, we have, as QA, like we try to think about all different scenarios the player could be in potentially when we deploy a new server with this kind of fix, or with this change to it, or this change. And it's when you deploy new content, even new loot tables or whatnot, while the player is playing, we need to know how that's gonna react, how that's gonna affect it. So yeah, I mean, there's this game is old for a mobile game, and there's a lot of different so many features and so many different states that the player can be in.
We expect timelines too coming out fairly soon. Marco Baker from chat just noted, I love how you can skip the beginning and after of space battles, and I think that was one of those little things that sort of just crept in without any announcement. Just kind of go, actually, this is really handy. Regardless of the 2x auto mode, just being able to kind of go, skip this and carry on. There's actually a nice little ease of life thing that we quite liked.
Yeah, we did a few quality of life things, and I think we still have a few on our roadmap to go moving forward.
Yeah, no, like you guys did mention that you were making more of a quality of life push, and it genuinely shows. And I can't say that I've noticed a particular uptick in reruns or flashbacks, because it feels like there's still a regular good flow of new content, which is still pretty good.
I will laugh for the version of timelines to come out. It'll be like Warcraft. It'll be like, oh, we've got timelines classic. Go back to 2016. And everyone's like, no,
no voyages.
Takes 4 weeks to level your assimilated LaForge. Yeah,
25.
Yeah, I would much rather play the game now than years ago.
Definitely. Okay, Stars, you've got some questions.
I do indeed. So sort of like piggybacking off the previous thing about the quality of life, people having issues with in-game chat, with issues such as like DMs disappearing, people finding it slightly unreliable, causing what I think they call social damage in a team game where a reliable communication system is critical to functioning groups and enjoyment. Obviously, like most fleets will probably use like an outside, like Discord or GroupMe or whatever kind of app, but obviously you want the in-game system to be just as robust. Obviously, some people find it a bit more limited than that. So, do you think that there's any plans to address problems with the IM system?
Yeah, we are aware of this. We hear this a lot in the forums as well. Yeah, we're hoping to address this in the future, hopefully as part of quality of life, but there's no promises around that there. But we do understand the frustration there, and how kind of clunky that is. I was just using it the other day, and then all my DMs disappeared, and I was like, bummer. So yeah, I mean, we play the game. We understand that that is a pain point for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just recently left my fleet, so I've been having people variously messaging me going, "Hey, do you wanna come over here? Do you wanna shimmy over?" And it's like, on the one hand, I'm kind of some of these DMs are kind of interesting. On the other hand, I'm like, it's not so bad that some of these disappear. But so
Yeah.
double-edged sword, double-edged sword.
Yep.
Is it me?
It
is me. Sorry.
Had
to run. Okay, this next question is from Prime Lorca from 10F on Discord. Two-part question for Ben. This is a little more casual. Have you been watching Lower Decks? And if so, what do you think of the series?
Yeah, I've watched the first 2 episodes so far. Been super busy recently trying to wrap up a client. But I think it's so far so good. Now I've never seen Rick and Morty, but the art style just screams that.
Yeah.
That style. And I'm glad they're kind of doing something different. It seems like they're kind of tailoring towards a different audience, which can be exciting. Yeah, it definitely must have taken reference from that, from Rick and Morty for sure. But
Hmm.
I feel
The-
like it's still finding itself within Star Trek, in the target audience as well. With the art style and the humor, it seems like they're trying to bring in new fans to Star Trek, which is cool, while still having those fan service moments for existing fans. So more Trek is always good, and I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Definitely. And if you didn't know,
Yeah.
the writer of Lower Decks was a previous showrunner of Rick and Morty, so
Yeah,
that kind of
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually funny you should mention you watched the first two episodes because me and Otto just recently jumped on the bandwagon and we did the first two episodes. And you're quite right in that it is very Rick and Morty-esque, but there is a definite sort of like love for Star Trek in there.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've seen Otto laugh quite as hard as the what was it, the Chad Each line.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for those, like, TNG old school references. So
Mhm.
Yeah. I think the entire bit in the second episode about
spoilers. Maybe everyone
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah,
seen
maybe.
it.
oh yeah, you know what, it's fine, but
all I
but
will say is,
reflecting on the whole sort of like office, I want to move to a different department. You mean what? And then like what that actually entailed in a Star Trek environment. I thought that was one of the most perfectly pitched Star Trek jokes I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
So
And,
Yeah, I'm glad they have moments like that too. But it's not just all like just references and fan service. There's new stuff, there's new storylines there that we haven't seen before.
well, as someone that's watched episodes 3 and 4, you guys will love it even more because I think those 2 episodes are even better than the 2 you've seen. So,
If I can interject a question here, just as a general thought experiment, if the game were to add Lower Decks ships to the game, do you think it would be a challenge to try to integrate the art style with the more realistic stuff that we have?
Yeah, that would be. I mean, we've done the animated series, so we've taken art from the animated series, and we have animated characters in there.
And Captain Proton ship, I suppose.
Yeah, and yeah, it would probably take a little more work to kind of match that style, or use that style but make sure it still fits into Star Trek timelines and in our own universe. So there would be some work there. I think it's possible though.
the Cerritos isn't too uncommon compared to other ships. I think that should be quite fine. But it'll be interesting to see how guys handle the actual crew art.
definitely. So this one is from Token Ard. Curious username.
Fleet leader here, thank you.
If we could have a counter for the number of replications we've used today and our daily allowance, I imagine like an upticking counter of how many times you've replicated an item.
I mean, you can tell he's VIP 14 by asking that because he has to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, just too much to count to that many.
Yeah, this is something that I run into every day too. This is actually I recently talked about this to one of my coworkers. We are aware of it. We're looking at that in conjunction with a new feature in development that's recently just been tasked out, and I'm hoping with that new feature we can wrap this this addition and this change up into that. But it's a little uncertain in the moment. It's a little too far ahead to say for sure.
Okay, I've got a set of two-parters from the Discord. Regulas asks, why haven't we got a collection for Mirror Trait yet when there are 46 crew with a mirror trade? And a Jorgamund from Discord also asks, sort of a question, maybe ask if there are new collections.
You're asking this question too soon. I am proposing a new collection very soon.
Next week. All right.
You have no idea how long this whole process is.
It takes a couple days. I know you're dragging your feet.
Okay, this next one comes from Mira Sanoa from the Discord forums. I would like to know what we can expect from the FORTE cooperation. And for those that don't know, a while before Wicked Realm games came into existence, before the Tilting Point takeover of Star Trek Timelines, there was a cooperation, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Ben, between yourselves when you were Disruptor Beam and FORTE for some sort of cooperation. I wonder if you could just expand on that a little bit and what's possibly happened since.
Yeah, our partnership with them is still is still valid. We still have a partnership with them. Our the feature that we initially designed back in the day, we wanted to go through a process of redesigning it. We didn't feel like it hit the mark that we wanted it to. So this feature, with in partnership with FORTE, has taken a little longer than we would have liked, but we wanted to be right. So we're taking our time with it. Yeah, the FORTE cooperation opens the door for new features for us. It is a little too early to share anything on that just yet. There's examples of what is possible with FORTE's work. You can just give them a Google and whatnot. But I'm hoping maybe next time I'm on stream, I can show some specific stuff off regarding that.
Excellent.
All right, penning you in for 2 months when you have a definite.
Okay.
I would just like to note, because we ran the numbers on this. Ben came on the show last time, and we chit-chatted about many things, including an honor sale. And 2 months later, to the day, we got an honor sale. So you can thank us here at Timelines Talks for that wonderful honor sale. And if you have any other requests,
I am now setting up the Patreon, so feel free now.
It's like I'm listening.
Yeah. Weird. This next one comes from Carl Panique Carl Panique from the email. What are the chances of a player marketplace where the players could buy and sell crew from each other, perhaps limiting such a marketplace to within a player's fleet? Now, I mean, already all of us here can see a problem with the balance in the game with that, but what would you say to that, Ben?
Yeah, the odds of us developing some kind of marketplace is good. That specific thing, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Like we've thought about like a player marketplace or some sort of marketplace in our game for a while. But we're taking our time designing that out and thinking about that.
Because I think what you don't want to have is sort of like the people who spend a lot on the Tuesday packs just pulling like say for example this week, Prisoner Kim was the number 8 Voyager, pulling like 20 of him and then go, here you go everyone, all yours.
So yeah, it can be very difficult to balance that too. And that if that were to player marketplace like that would come out not balanced properly, the game economy would be shot and the game would be done. So
exactly.
Something like that, we really need to take our time and make sure we balance it properly.
What if we were to have a marketplace just for hyper spanners? Those little red paintbrushes that you always run out of and you have to run the 4 Chronoton mission for?
Yeah. Holo programs, I run out of those all the time.
Yeah.
I will sell you my mirror.
Is this going to turn into Catan? Is it? Is this going to be
for a 5 out of 5 first officer Burnham? I will accept this trade. It's a really good trade. And you can
it's going to be like 14 Shinzons for 1 Gary 7. We're going to have like market graphs and exchange rates and everything.
Stop.
No bribes. I take no bribes.
Yeah, we'll talk after the show. This next one is from Penguin Jim from the forums. For 3 megas in a row, he says, there have been no faction events after week 2. A new legendary crew with the bonus trait have been introduced in such a way as to have no impact on the mega part of the mega event. Crew introduced during these megas have also had questionable skills and values. Is this an intentional dilution of mega events despite the feedback on the forums following these changes? I.e., is there some intended positive impact of the players of which the players are unaware? Or does forum feedback not generally get passed along to the team?
Forum feedback always gets passed along to the team, especially if it's in large numbers. This is, we are aware of this. Actually, as soon as I read this the other day, we had a conversation. I had a conversation with a couple members of the design team, to try to figure out how we can improve on it. So we're aware of it. We're hoping to not continue to do that moving forward.
By not continue to do that, you mean
the no faction after 2 weeks, or the mega crew, but it can be difficult to wrap all those things up and put a nice tidy bow on it.
It's a matter of balance.
Megas are not.
Sorry,
megas are not always like a cut and dry kind of thing too. So it's to wrap in the proper mega crew can be difficult sometimes to make sure they have a bonus in all events too, and fit within the theme. So we're looking at that, and we're seeing how we can improve on that moving forward.
I think it'd be a matter of balance, can't it? Because, especially with looking back at the Caregiver Mega, which we were speaking recently, actually was a better Mega than we gave it credit for, but we had one faction where we had all these Caregivers, but we couldn't use them for, so I can imagine that,
This is something I don't know if you're familiar with, but I imagine also factions, because each faction has 8+ missions to open up. Is that also a little more strain on the writer to provide that much more content versus other event types?
I think, it really depends, between each different type of event. Some events are more narrative heavy and less design heavy, and some events are more design heavy and less, some events are like skirmishes, more art heavy with their new ship and making sure that works on all of our devices and platforms. So yeah, it is a difficult balance too, to kind of plan those things out and how we want to structure each event, making sure that we can commit to that and getting all that stuff done and deploy and make sure it's out in a timely manner. But as for faction events, I think that's a little more heavy on writing than it is design.
I remember reading, I guess a couple of years ago now, when Discovery first started on the forums, it was some blue post, as they say, if you were a fan of Blizzard games, but they said that then Disruptor Beam prized themselves on being one of the only currently running Star Trek narratives out there, because the other shows weren't running. I think Discovery just started, and so, I know a lot of players just want to collect the best crew and all that stuff. But that always stuck with me, how Disruptor Beam was, they said they were proud of being one of the few currently running Star Trek narratives out there.
Yeah, we our writer, I think she actually got an award for narrative for this game, and she's amazing. Every event I feel like I have to read because I'm kind of just really into it, and she does some really cool things with the narrative.
I have to admit, when we got into the Enterprise Mega, and it was... Sorry, Stars, please.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that, we've been talking about, Megas have been, weak. I think this Enterprise Mega, the writing has been especially good, just because, not only is it very, tightly thematically bound, but it's actually an interesting Star Trek-y style question of, this alternate history, how does it differ, and, the good and the bad, and it's been a really, really good one. Going back to that thing with Penguin Jim, it's like, wow, Jim, thanks for letting us know how you feel. What I was also gonna say is, with mega events, is that I don't think they kind of get enough. They're kind of just to be expected now. But I think I started the game really, really early, just when they were first new, and it's a case of they were way more exciting way back then. When it was a case of, I get a 4 out of 5 crew and all these special things and an actual cohesive storyline. It's a case of, you're going to have your few bum ones, they can't all be winners, and it's a case of, sometimes they won't resonate with you like they will with others.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also a case of, for us, as people who write with the big book, doing guesses for what you're going to go with for traits for the next mega is half the fun. We go, what kind of size of pool is just right for them? What about this trait versus that trait? Oh, you could really tightly thematically, and it's just regardless of what anyone else says, that stuff is great fun. Keep on doing that.
Definitely.
Yeah, we for mega events, we have to think, 4 weeks ahead. As we're planning things, and we're planning things for 2 weeks ahead, we have to think about megas 6 weeks, 7 weeks in advance, right? To figure out what traits we want, who we want there, and try to tie it and put a nice little bow on it. So yeah, it is a lot of prep. And yeah, the getting the 4 out of 5 legendary throughout the whole thing, it sounds like you may be taking it for granted.
Now we're only getting super rares from now on.
Oh, those poor new players out there.
Yeah, from one player to another, I'll let you know that I got Katrina Cornwell 4 out of 5, and she's still rocking it hard on my roster.
Very
so,
much. Yeah.
Question here from Carpini, which I think we kind of skipped over. Sorry.
Before we move on, I just want to mention that I don't think it's the 11 secret herbs and spices, but back when we had the prisoner interrogator mega, there was sort of stealth addition, the prisoner trait to a bunch of crew, and people noted that on the forums, and we didn't think much of it. And then, 7 weeks later, or 6 weeks later, we got this prisoner interrogator mega. We thought, oh, that's what they were doing that for. So you can sort of see that there is a clear thought process behind things, and I'm sure there's a lot more that goes on that we're not aware of.
A ton, yeah.
Internally, Ben's like, "Oh, good, they didn't notice. They don't know that we make up as we go along."
Yeah,
what crew were introduced?
50 more humans.
Yeah, we're always trying to think ahead and kind of pave the path forward.
Yeah. So a question that we kind of skipped over was Carpenike from email. Would you consider the use of some portal pull token, something worth 650 dilithium, that could replace the premium pull events rewards and event and campaign rewards? This could allow a player the choice between using their reward on a premium pull, event pack, or Tuesday pack, giving more flexibility for free-to-play players, and slightly answering concerns about portal dilution for older players. Reading that actually reminded me, I think it was a rerun of an Augment Riker event where it was a Galaxy, and instead of the standard premium pull, it gave the event pack pull. I think I remember that from maybe 2 years ago. So that kind of dovetails with what he's asking there.
Yeah, we've kind of played around with that a little bit. We haven't played around with it in a while. I guess we're still trying to figure out how we want to do that, if we want to do it. But would we consider it? Yeah, but we don't have the tech for that currently. It's a cool idea, being able to kind of game the system, I guess, is get that token and figure out, do I want to use it on an event pack and push this event, or do I want to, use it somewhere else? So, that's a pretty cool idea. I guess on that note too, it's we could just give out 650 dilithium as well, but then we have less control over where you use that dilithium too. So
yeah, it's all about the dilution of the player economy and cards.
Exactly.
We're worried about that.
Yep. Yeah. So nothing planned on that, but I think token polls and stuff, I think that'd be pretty cool.
If you did give out 650 dilithium, I could finish my 7 daily shuttles really quick, and then all my dailies would be done. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
A question from Captain Caleb on Discord. Could you ask, please, to Ben, if you haven't already, when are we going to get a Tellarite character, or 2 or 3? Other than that, I'm very happy with the game. Thanks.
Just for you, I will officially request one. I believe we actually do have one in the pipe, but it's not yet assigned to any pack or event or anything like that. I don't even think we've even sent, requests for, gotten art for that yet either. So we do have it in our list of crew that we would love to get to and put into the game. So hopefully sometime soon.
Just off the top of my head, I think there's the Tellarite from the original series, from the Sarek episode. There's one from Enterprise, and I think there's one from a short trek as well.
There's a few.
There's a Discovery Admiral as well.
Oh, that's right, yes.
They're all kind of side characters. Give Tellarites their due, not just in timelines, but in all Star Trek.
I won't spoil, but keep watching Lower Decks.
Okay.
My first thought was like a Journey to Babel type event where you can have Trass or some kind of Andorian as existing, a new Tellarite, and anyways, enough fantasy booking for me.
Yeah, enough telling Ben how to do his job. I'm sure he can hold that enough.
Well, why did we invite him?
You gonna throw Chakotay in there somewhere? Or
no, he's still maxing and relaxing in the hot tub, waiting for Janeway to come back from scooping bat guano off the side of the cave.
The ease with which that response came out speaks volume.
It consumes my every thought.
I'm shocked. So I think this might be my favorite username ever. Mua Dave. So if you're a bit Frank Herbert fan, you might get that one.
Yeah.
Question for Ben: is Timelines primarily focused around collecting style gameplay or another type of play? Can those of us who have been playing for a while look forward to some newer, deeper play experiences?
Yeah, this is a character collector RPG for sure. Collecting your favorite characters throughout all of the Star Trek universe. Um, we have over 900 characters right now, and we're looking forward to planning out our 1000th. Uh, but yeah, what do you find to be a deeper experience for Star Trek? I'm kind of curious in that. We do have a new feature that's in the books for early next year that'll kind of give a more strategic value, more in-depth experience for longer existing players, which we're really excited about.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, what do you find to be a more deeper experience too for Star Trek?
Well, I can only guess as to what Dave means, but for me personally, like I'd kind of like a more of a development of, because obviously in every event you get the little dialogue options, and I love looking up on the wiki what the other choices end up in resulting, because they're always like a nice little bit of flavor text. Because kudos to your writer, they're always a very nice in character. Something a little bit deeper into that, where almost like the dilemmas you have to do like a dialogue chain of the saying the right things. I think could be fun. There's like maybe like a deeper experience, but obviously that's very very nerdy. But Star Trek game.
Yeah, I like it.
We've been talking about maybe doing a Star Trek Adventures stream, which is here he goes, he's grabbing the stuff.
Yes.
Don't play another game while we're here.
I'm not terribly
Right,
well
roll your
versed in
characters.
it,
Come
but
on.
It's like your D&D type stuff. And actually, when we were looking into it, we realized that, as far as I'm aware, please shout at me if this is wrong, that the studio had allowed Star Trek Adventures to use their art, crew art, character art for the books and the games. So we might get a stream like that in the near future. I don't know.
Getting around to it.
If you want to join us, Ben, you're more than welcome.
Hey.
But you're gonna have to drink at a much increased rate if you want to keep up with it. See, I gotta pick on him because he's given us these Morse code type symbols trying to stump us. He has a live demo coming up, and so he has these 2 fancy beers, but he's barely drinking them because he has to nail this demo later on. So
It's like a magic trick. You have to get it right the first time.
as for the collecting, there's this like weird dichotomy because a lot of people would like to have the crew they love be legendaries with strong stats, so you can use them all the time, look at them all the time. And there's also an argument to be made for them being 3 or 4-star characters so that you can acquire them more easily. So if you really want to have them for their art, that's a little bit easier. So I guess I fall on the side of them being stronger, even if I can't catch them all. But yeah.
A lot of characters.
Yeah, definitely. So a question from Flash on Discord. Can you share more about the new distress call you mentioned the last time you were on the stream? Most importantly, and most obviously, when? Always when.
Yeah. Priorities have kind of shifted in our resources. We're shifting around too in hopes of getting that specific thing back on our roadmap. I can tell you that the narrative is written, but it is not designed. No data's in for that. But so there's some work there to be done. But because of a few things that happened with our transition, we had some other things that were higher priority at the time.
Understandable. 2020 has been one of those years, as it were.
Oh yeah.
From the same question, so scanning is one of the most useless features in the game, yet there are a requirement to complete the daily quests. Have you had any positive feedback about this feature in the past years? Have you ever considered replacing the daily quest scans with the Gauntlet, for example?
By the way, this question I heavily edited down. This guy hates scanning, just so you know. This is like...
Really, the only question of have you had any positive feedback didn't let me know that.
Yeah, I mean, scanning is, I'll be honest, scanning is not fun. It's not. Like, we've thought about making scanning more fun, then also trying to figure out if it's even worth our time. right? Do we even still want it on the main HUD? Is it taking up space? Yeah, I mean, if we were to make scanning more fun, obviously we'd want to do it right, and maybe wrap it up, make it better somehow. Maybe you travel to another system, scan something, and then you scan from there. The UI disappears. That'd be cool, but
Be
yeah,
still
I mean,
my beating
as far
heart.
as far as replacing, oh yeah, I still got more clues there too. But as far as replacing this scan with Gauntlet dailies, I've been the big promoter of that and talked a lot about it recently with our team. Just that not everyone likes Gauntlet too. So that's another thing to think about. Gauntlet is one of our features that is hated or love it. Plus the scanning daily is just so easy to complete too. So it gives players that maybe don't have the bigger warping abilities yet or anything like that, an easy carrot to kind of get some more season points and more goodies that way. Yeah, I mean, it does take time because of the cooldown too, but it requires the player to come back every few hours, which gets the players more engaged too over time. And then we would probably have to move the scanning button from the main HUD and put it elsewhere. Unless we reinvent scanning in a new, an improved way. But yeah, I mean, scanning is just a little loot pinata. It's not even that much loot either. So
I think I remember the last time I did it, I got one Borg schematic, one Borg cube, one.
a single Borg schematic.
I will add that to the 6,000 I already have. Fantastic.
Yeah, a related question for the team, and you can bring us back and answer next time. Is anyone bothered by the fact that there are 11 dailies to do? It used to be 10 dailies, which is a nice round number. Who doesn't like 10? But 11 is like, so if that bothers anyone on the team, then, let me know.
Yeah, we actually wanted 11 to kind of balance out, when we released the new campaigns feature, we wanted to balance out how many season points you would get every day, right? And then you got to think about how, what VIP level the player is, because then you get double your daily rewards for that. So there's more there. And so it was a balancing thing to kind of figure out, do we want to throw one more in there that's pretty easy, which is scanning. That'll, help the lower end players, the lower level players, to get a little more of the season points.
Okay, we still apparently have a lot of questions, so I'm going to try to speed this up.
Yeah,
From Skycap on Discord, I don't suppose Ben would tell us when the next portal update will be.
I can't tell you when, but what I can tell you is that it is not on a set schedule. So like big events and sales in the games, like the Honor House sale, crew slot, double sale, portal update, like those things are not a every 6 months type of thing. Okay. We need to keep you all on your toes.
Okay, this is not speeding it up, sorry, but my personal grievance, which I'm going to air now, is the last portal update went in the middle of a mega. So you separated New Eden Pike and Pining Vina, who just belong together. So, maybe that could be rectified. If I see a little server note that said Pining Vina has been added to the portal, I'd be very grateful. But that's my own thing. All right, Captain Insano 2001 on Discord. With the recent influx of med crew, especially in regards to Metagrino and Nanoprobe Phlox, is there any chance of unleashing another med command or med eng or other powerhouse anytime soon? I'm assuming, well, this is submitted before Kim. If not, please consider it.
Yeah, I mean, I know we just released, I think it was the pack yesterday. We had a pretty decent, I think it was med eng crew.
Eng segment, yeah.
And eng segment. Yeah, I'll relay that to the design team too. But I believe we just released that crew yesterday, Kim. I don't think we have any plans, but I'll have to catch up with the designer on that. Yeah, Nanoprobe Phlox, I love that character. on a personal note, adding him to the honor hall. I had a choice of two crew and I'm a sucker for Flux, so I was like, put him in the honor hall.
Oh, so were you the one who chose him for that?
I had a couple crew that I could choose, and so I ran with that one.
You made the correct choice, because not only is like that a really, really cool moment for Flux, but I love the art for him. Like that.
Well, you don't know what the other one would have been.
I was going to say, the community will kill us if we don't ask what was the other one was.
But I know. Right. I know. I can't say which one. We made a few extras for that. I think that crew we actually put in the theme pack already. The other crew, I'll have to double check. But
okay.
Yeah, I had a choice, and I was like, Blocks all day.
The fact that we don't immediately go, was it this one? Means a case of you made the correct choice.
Yeah.
I did. I can confirm.
No.
A tiny tangent from this question. I feel like there are certain pain points that are good to have, like skill combos being rarer, and harder to hit high voyages on certain skill combos, because it really makes you treasure and value a certain crew differently rather than them all having the same skills. So I'm okay with certain things being tougher, but don't hate me for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
On the note too, dash ... comma dash ...
This guy.
Thank you for everyone in chat that's keeping up with us on this Morse code adventure. When you said you were going to make this harder, I was expecting some sort of garbled image, a QR code or something. But
I got to step up my game. You were able to figure that silhouette out in like 5 minutes. Okay. Way too quick. Way too quick, my liking.
Okay. This next question is from Rob. Oh, hang on, I'm not skipping you again, am I, Stars? No. This next question is from Rob Onish on the forums. I'd love to hear about any plans they have to, we spoke about this briefly, integrate lower decks characters into the game. Should we expect a modified artwork a la Taz characters, or will they try to preserve the style of their own show? Will we get a full lower decks mega in October, or will they be trickled out? We've kind of answered some of these questions already about the artwork and such.
Yeah, we're exploring that as an option. I don't know right now, but I know we've done an art test or two, and a demo the art to try to match the art style and make sure it fits within our game. As far as the lower decks mega for October, that's not going to happen. I can confirm you that. But would you guys like to see lower decks characters in that?
Absolutely. Yeah. No. Definitely.
Oh yeah. Definitely. I mean, I am, even the few episodes of the watch, I'm a huge Ensign Tendi fan, so and because it's it's an Orion, it's an Orion that sort of breaks the mold of what Orions have been in the show, so I'm a huge fan of that.
So
For
Captain
context,
Idle.
For those of you who aren't in our Discord channel, Idle said that, I like lower decks, and meanwhile I'm looking at the list of who's in this thing, and he's got us lower decks icon for his Discord profile. So take that as you will.
If we can get angry drumming Ensign Tendi, I'll be very, very happy.
What about for you, Idle? What about a expedition lower decks? That'll just be perfect.
Right, the stream's over. Shut it down. Stars, move it on. Come on.
Idle has this shockingly a spreadsheet, but a mega list of crew not in the game yet. I think he has like 600-700 names, which those alone would keep the game running for years and years. And now we have a lot more series too. So yeah, the more the merrier. Get everyone in the pool.
Definitely.
After this interview, Ben's gonna be like, "Hey, Idle, can I have a look at your sheet?" And then he's gonna go into a staff meeting. Like, "Hey guys, so I came up with this resource over the weekend. I don't know if you
He's angling for a promotion. Yeah.
My fees are included in the stream.
Innovative tactics like that will get you that promotion. Question from Frisky Dingo on Discord, and this one I find quite interesting. Will we ever get mega reruns and/or flashbacks, or perhaps a new variant thereof, so that we can replay some of the mega events?
Yeah, we actually recently talked about this internal with our writer and our live ops team. We might consider it. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but you probably won't see that in this year. But it's something we're kind of thinking about and figuring out how we do that, how we mix up the rewards to make sure it makes sense.
Yeah, because speaking from a personal thing, it's like I missed out on Ball Queen, and she's been one of my white whales. But it's obviously a case of I remember when Mira Jean-Luc Picard turned up in a campaign, they were like a mega crew. It's like, well, I already have them 4 out of 5, and it's like, well, other people weren't there for that, and it's a case of balancing needs and wants.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a relatively old game now, so if we're only balancing over, what the people from the beginning have, then that's not the best.
So it's a good point.
There's a lot of crew too. There's a lot of crew to make sure you try to get them available for people who did miss out on them.
Absolutely. Question now from I'm gonna butcher this. Zanasazi?
Yay.
Yeah.
Very polite. Caught the online thread for the QA and thought I could send a query. Any chance of prominent new non-main cast crew members, like hopefully TOS Season 3's other sorts who haven't been in the spotlight? And Otto, this is one for you because I don't know any of these characters. Vana, Dila, Natira, Elan, Rael, etc. I'm guessing they're all green women of some sort.
They are Kirk's conquest of the weakness. Like I know Elan of Troyes is.
I see.
I was going to say, are you just recanting a book of from like you summoning Cthulhu right now? Because that sounds very sort of.
Shatner will pop up from around the corner.
So thanks, and I'm looking forward to the podcast. I think that's a bit of an odd one. It's like prominent new non-main cast crew members. I think that describes everyone who's ever been in a pack.
Prominent.
Yeah, there's always a chance. We have there's a lot of crew in the Star Trek universe, a lot, and we still have a lot that we haven't touched on yet. So we have hit kind of characters like that in the past. And I assume that we would continue to do that moving forward. It just it depends on how we want to fit them into an event, or if we want to do a certain event theme, then we can bring in one of those characters or something like that.
Yeah. Sort of spinning off from that question into more of a personal bent. They mentioned their TOS Season 3, so I'm guessing they're a big TOS fan. If you could choose sort of like a season of a show of one of the track shows or a particular era, is there one that you would pick?
Specific season?
I
don't think I can do a specific season. I can say my favorite is TNG. I love TNG. I think Picard's the best captain. Don't fight me.
This could be a much longer podcast if we were going to do this.
Yeah. And on that note too, -- space --
Having too much fun with this.
Speaking of TNG, and there's I think season 5 episode called Conundrum, where the crew is tricked into going and destroying the Lysians, who are a technically less inferior race. And there's a scene where the Enterprise flies in, and the Lysian sends all these tiny little sentry pods at them. And with their phasers, they blow up like 18 of these little ships. Next time we have Ben on, we're going to have 18 of his little heads on the screen. And they're going to get blown up by the Enterprise. There's going to be one for each of these dash dots that he's giving us.
I'm just going to compile all these dash dots, and then just have Data sitting there going...
Blowing up my head in the intro wasn't enough. Now we need 18 of them.
Blow it up 100 times. No, we're going to be more creative. Don't worry. All right. Ronaldo on Reddit asks, are there any plans to add new event types or other game features that would give players away or a reason to use blue, green, gray crew, etc., and the plethora of ships we have, which no longer have a purpose? I know we've talked about this with multiple voyages and stuff, but...
Yeah, the multiple voyages thing, I think, would actually probably be a good solution to that problem. We understand there is a problem there too, but mainly that is those crew are stepping off point for newer players to kind of work their way up towards 4 and 5-star crew. But the lower end crew are required for cadet missions too, so there's a little value there, which where you can get exclusive, hard to find equipment and components. As for new features, we don't have that planned for that set of specific crew.
Okay.
But I like that voyage idea.
The rest of his question is, do you have any plans for a cooperative event type? Other styles of games have raids, for example, which I don't think fits timelines.
Yeah, we've actually talked about like a raids features in the past, or like a boss battle feature in the past. It would be really cool, but we don't have tech for that currently. And when you incorporate a cooperative experience with a lot of different players into one event, that can be it requires more work. But yeah, in something like that, like a raid feature, we'd want to do it justice too. So we'd want to take our time with it and make sure we design it right and code it right. And that would be a big undertaking. But I do love the idea. Dash 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 dot space dot dash dash dot.
Chat, I hope you're keeping up because I can't write this down fast enough.
Yeah.
This might be
sort of like picking up on your point. Anyone who's started a faction and tried to do the kickstart method, and it's a particularly high demand crew, and they notice that the thing will chug noticeably for a little bit, as a case of, this is a mobile game. The servers are not designed for that kind of thing. I can only imagine what an Armada boss fight would handle, especially with all the ship models going off.
I'm just thinking of
the struggle.
I'm thinking of what could you have? Ruafa was invading the Alpha Quadrant. Quick, send Wesley Crusher in to defeat him.
Yeah, I know. Over time too, we've actually really improved the event start process. Like before the event start, it would chug, and there would be server errors, and so we've improved on that in the past few years. Before that, it was difficult it was a big decision to deploy a server during an event, because our servers in scaling, and we would have issues there. But we've done a lot of work back end to improve that process. So yeah, and in the past, on the note of cooperative event type, we had a really old design that would that we would add fleet leaderboards to events. Very old design. I thought that was kind of a cool cooperative thing, but we were never able to fully flesh those ideas out and continue that.
If we were to have sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that one idea I've seen fleshed out is everyone in a fleet contributing one of their best crew that sort of fits a different niche, and then doing not quite an expedition but away team style thing, and you have to cobble it together from this mishmash of crew from the rest of your fleet. And I thought that was kind of a cool idea, but obviously the demand on the service for that kind of thing would be quite intense.
If we were to have cooperative raids, do you think we could bring back the oversized KDF Gauran flying on the screen?
Yeah, that feature was really cool that we never ended up releasing. But you would see your friend's ship if you were in the same system, and it would show the avatar, and it was bugged, and the avatar icon would be half the screen, and it was just terrifying sometimes.
All right, we got to keep things rolling. From Discord, an Asus TF300T, and I asked him how to pronounce his name ahead of time. I would like to know if Wicked Realm has anything in the pipeline aimed at giving higher level players something new to do. Currently, there aren't a whole lot of goals you can work toward once you pass a certain point.
Yeah, all I can say to that is we have a feature that is releasing early next year. It is a massive game changer that we're all really excited for. It's probably the most excited I've been over a feature since Voyages. There's been a lot of planning to get to this point, so we're excited for it to finally go out the door, but it's not yet ready yet. Hoping next time I'm on stream, maybe I'll have more to show and talk about regarding that.
Can I just fall asleep for 6 months and just wake up?
Speaking of new features, ... dash.
It's your turn.
Write it down.
Okay, this next one is from Una on Discord. Lots of players have great suggestions to improve games, such as allowing squad shares to be set up 24 hours before the event. Other than posting these in the Make It So section of the forums, what can we do to improve the chances of these ideas being implemented? And I can kind of already think what you're going to say to that one.
Yeah, anything more than that, not really. Like I said, everything that's in the Make It So section, anything on the forums that is of really big importance to anything that is relayed to the team. And I think all of us on the team actually on our own just go and look at the forums from time to time. to see what's the new thing. But yeah, I mean, as far as like setting up squad share 24 hours earlier, we would have to do a bunch of work to the UI to make that possible. And other members of the team may have other opinions, but that doesn't seem like a very big quality of life thing for us to tackle. It feels like the time that we would have to spend on it would be more than the that we would get from it too. I think there's other areas for quality of life that I think we could focus on that would ease the player experience.
Unar continues, he's got a second part to that. Have there been any thoughts to changing the structure of the event rank or threshold rewards, especially between 26th place and 1/500? There's a huge difference in the required effort resources, but almost the same reward. I'd like to kind of expand on that as well, expand on his question. Is there likely to be an increased threshold reward for the new skirmish system? Because now we're starting to see scores easily going past 1 million, and whereas sort of 350k is the traditional part. So is there kind of any work that we're both kind of saying going towards the sort of event reward system?
Yeah, the auto battle for skirmish event has made it much easier to get VP and stack up those stack up VP. We have to take a look at that. We made a conscious decision to not overreact to that, to adding the auto battle and the speed up, and adjusting that threshold at the same time. We wanted to kind of see where people would stack up before adjusting that. We haven't looked at that yet, but there are no plans to change the reward structure as of right now. But as of our daily active users change their ranks, change on matter of completion and such. But after reading this question, I actually had an hour-long call with a designer around this specific thing. So we're looking at it, and we're actually looking at changing some part of the reward structure early next year. So I guess to go back on what I said earlier, saying I wouldn't update the rewards, I think we may end up updating the rewards.
Cool.
Yeah, because I remember back when it was a case of, if you want the new gold crew, it's a top 1,000, then it got expanded out to top 1,500, which for those extra 500 people, that makes a big difference, because getting a new crew, especially if it's one that you really, really want, like that can be a big value add to the game. It's a case of, especially if you bust your hump to get that 500, it's a lot more attainable for some people.
Yeah, we specifically looked at the 26th place through 1,500. Yeah, I mean, they're exactly right. There isn't a huge difference in required effort resource there, but it's almost the same reward. So that part of it is what, the designer and I had a conversation about, and we're like, yeah, that's weird. Why was it designed this way back in the day? So that's something that, we're looking at, and hopefully we can make a change to it in the future.
Yeah. That is always sort of like an element of game development, especially for something that's gone on for 4 or 5 years. A case of looking back and go, why did we do it like that? And then
it's always
like, why did we do it like that?
Yeah, it's always like, oh, it's because we've always done that. It's like, but we should question those things, right? We want to move forward and improve on it, and the game changes over time. So I think, we have a really good team to do that too, asking a lot of questions. Like, just because we've done, this thing this way in the past doesn't mean we have to do it going forward. It really is all about what the game needs at the time too.
Yeah, absolutely. A question from Tellarite, who I believe we've had on the show before. A very lovely individual, very much in love with Gadget deck. We won't hold that against her. Would they consider adding golds to Voyages? Many veteran players have all other crew immortalized, and it would give more incentive for older players. And I think this kind of harkens back to the questions we were asking from previous about balancing game economy versus older players and newer players.
Right. Yeah. ... comma ... no plans to add golds to Voyages right now directly, but we may consider opening up a pathway to be able to get golds in the future. Maybe we'll add golds to another feature.
Yeah. But Ben, I think I might have cracked your code. I think you're spelling out drink more Ovaltine.
Join the Navy.
Even that, yeah.
That's the other one.
I've been appearing. I've been drawing something, but honestly, I can't actually decipher what I've been putting down. It's just now a lot of scribbles on my piece of paper. I really hope chat has been paying attention. 'Cause-
Now, before we get too close to this new feature reveal type thing, you had a second drink, Ben, with an equally awesome name that I
Oh,
think would be a
yes.
shame if the stream didn't know about. So,
Yeah, sure. This is Light Runner. It is a New England IPA.
That's
I
awesome.
tend to go towards the beers that have really, really cool artwork.
That's amazing. Look at that.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
that is the galaxy gallivanting vash of beers, I have to admit. That's gorgeous.
I don't mess around.
All right, our next question is from Ashrafair from Discord. Now that we have campaigns that give a fully fused purple a month, is there any plan to overhaul the daily rewards, like instead of a purple once a month as the final GIF? Could we get a gold instead? So 3 lots of 4 or 5 old golds a year, which leaves room to cite or pay for the final star, or even 4 lots of 3 golds a month for more revenue buffer for TPWRG, for example.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I haven't really thought about that, but we haven't touched the daily rewards like that structure in a long time. So maybe that is due for an update. No plans right now to change that. But all these questions and suggestions are awesome. They're great. It really, lets us know that the team understand, the community's point of view, things like that in the forums too. So maybe I'll have a conversation with the designer about this right after this.
So what you're saying is, if you want to give feedback directly to Point, what you need to do is go on to timelesstalks@gmail.com and send a question.
Once every 6 months, you'll have your chance.
You are the gatekeepers. No. We listen to we're very active on the forums too. Shan does an awesome job of relaying information.
Yeah, big shout out to Shan here because
yeah.
Sorry, Ben. Big shout out to Shan because correct me if I'm wrong, but they do a very awesome job of managing the forums. And you had a bit of a stint yourself managing the forums last week and posting announcements, didn't you? How did you find that?
Did. As soon as Shan came back, I was like, wow, that was rough. And there were 3 threads there too that got a little spicy, and I was like, what do I do? Oh my god. But yeah, Shan's a trooper. She is amazing at what she does. And I saw on the forums too. I was late both days, I think, posting the next campaign and the event details, and you guys were just brutal on me.
Yeah, but why?
Like, he's late so bad. Shan's coming back next week. I was like,
I couldn't believe that.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
I could not believe that.
What's to this?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe people were posting that. That was terrible, just saying the slightly late with the event. It's not like Hinge, like, what am I going to get tomorrow? I'm not going to know in 20 minutes. I've got to go out. Oh, that's terrible. But yeah.
5:59 European time. We're just hitting the F5 waiting for the States.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like, Shan is usually never late. She's amazing. So I give her all the credit in the world there.
See, the problem was Ben overslept in his palatial presidential suite, and he couldn't get to a laptop in time to post the new stats. So,
darling, will you marry me? But hang on.
That was a once in a lifetime experience.
I have to admit, I did picture sort of like Shan at like a nice spa with like the cucumbers over her eyes and the mud's mask, and then a couple calls like, they tear me apart. What do I do, man?
It's like, not my problem.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Question from SSR Pasty on Discord. Are there any plans to introduce new event types? This was mentioned when TP purchased timelines from DB. Can you give us a preview or some hints as to what to expect? Everyone wants to know about new events. Everyone is hungering.
Yeah. Dash, dot, comma, dash. Yeah, last stream I mentioned objective events. The thing we are experimenting more right now is mini events and midweek events. That is still in the pipeline, though. We're trying to move resources around currently to make that still possible in order to, continue with objective events. But it's something that we're still looking at and hoping we can get done.
And the second part to that question is, are there any plans to include Kelvin-verse crew in timelines? For those not versed in the lingo, Kelvin-verse are the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies with Chris Pine, etc.
Yeah, I know there was a look in the past regarding that, but nothing really materialized from that. We don't have any plans for that currently. That's a license that we'd have to go out and try to get.
Yeah, it's sort of one of those things when every time you bring it up on Reddit or on the forums, it almost becomes like an ideological flashpoint of we shouldn't have them in this thing.
I think it also
Regardless of the
comes.
quality of the actual thing.
It also comes from your sister game, Fleet Command, have just got the Prime universe license. So I think a lot of people are suddenly thinking, oh, hang on, if there's interchangeable. And going off the back of the Viacom CBS merger as well, now that's all under one roof, they were wondering if the license also applies to the subsidiaries like Timelines, Fleet Command, Star Trek Online.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a separate thing. Yeah, I mean, that's something that, we'll have to see if it makes sense in our game to try to bring that in from a marketing point of view as well.
Yeah, just to let you know, so I'm probably one of the 5 people in the world who played that really awful Star Trek Kelvin movie tie-in game.
Oh God, that.
So I can say this. The woof woof. So if you were to ever bring Kelvin-verse crew into this, I can guarantee you would be the #1 video game representation of those crews.
There's a few good. I quite like those films. I think there's some good stuff we had from there.
Yeah.
Auto.
Okay, question from Captain Insano 2001. This is the last question before your live product demo. No pressure, Ben. Hey there. So for the next QA session, I would be interested in whether or not there were any updates on the new content that Ben brought up last time. And to refresh everyone's memory, this is taken from the recap thread after his last visit here. A new Gauntlet crew, which happened. A new round of temporary achievements, a la Bones, that happened with Homesteader Janeway. A new distress call coming this summer, which he answered earlier has been delayed due to a shift in priorities. A mini event likely coming this summer. An event UI update and potential achievement events.
I would like to just interject here that SSR Pasty has also asked about when is the summer mini event coming, and Henning 1105 from 10F on Discord has also asked about the mini event.
Yeah, so dash comma dash comma dot. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go down the list. The new Gauntlet crew. We were able to get that out. New temporary achievements, we were able to get that out. We've recently have made we improved the tech behind achievements, so we're able to create to start temporary achievements and set those live easier. Made that process easier for us, easier to schedule coming up and coming down. So you should expect more of those going forward. But yeah, I mean, I'll relay the rest of that to the design team too. The new content, like the new distress call, that was something that other priorities came up that pushed the distress call back. We're trying to move around resources to see if we can still get that done. No promises there. The event UI, I'll talk about that a little later, and the mini event. So the mini event, I know I talked about hoping to get out during the summer, another mini event in the summer. Not summer anymore. We had to push it back as well. So we're aiming for late fall. And then the other question around the mini event, it's still a thing for sure. This client that we're trying to release very soon enables us to do more of that. So there was lots and lots of backend work was done to enable multiple events. So that when I say multiple events, that means one can be in an active state and another one can be in an announced state. So we have a mini event planned, but not as soon as we would have hoped. We have one penciled in for late fall due to the transition, in our priorities and some stuff getting swapped around. I mentioned last time that has been delayed and pushed back, but it's something that we'll have to get reprioritized. The reward structure is another thing that I brought up. Will most likely change compared to last time when we ran the mini event. Last time I think we had Dilithium as the rewards. That was because we wanted a lot of players to participate in it so we can get good data back on it, which we did. So I really appreciate everyone participating in that mini event because we got really good data back on that.
It was our pleasure.
Yeah, Dilithium, yeah, that was good. But from there, I'd like to do a little demo into our event hub. We actually just released
Let me just there we go.
The new server for this client. So we're hoping to release this client very soon. Are you all set?
Yeah, you're all set. You are your screen is in focus.
Okay. So, look at that. My name. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, that's I haven't seen that one before. So we have this thing called the event hub, and this will be the hub for all events moving forward. So the event hub allows us to run multiple events, one in an active state, so either one that's in phase 1 or phase 2, and then another event that is in an announced phase. So this really opens the door for us to experiment with mini events. Last time we ran an event from Monday, in between when we usually run an event. So it was Monday to Wednesday, I believe we ran it. And so we're looking to do that again with mini events. Now, all this tech, this event hub, enables us to experiment with that more, which we're very excited about. So I can see here in the event hub, we have one event that's currently running, Plateau of Tomorrow. So I can go in here, I can do the regular things. If I were to just click on the event banner, buy the packs, leaderboards, rewards, the event rules, and then I can enter the event and play with the event, get VP. Now the other thing, we have this other one here that is in a preview state, in the announced state. So clicking here, we have the event splash. So there's also a pack here that we can purchase. From a content and live ops point of view, we're still trying to figure out how early we can, get the next events pack out, and what that means for testing. Like, can a crew go out a week early without being, and how would we have to test that crew in the old event, the weeks before event? So there's a little work that we have to do there to kind of figure that stuff out. But from here, from the event hub in the announced phase of the next event, you can see all the event rewards, community rewards, squadron, and the event rules as well. So you can properly prepare and see, what crew are going to have a bonus in the next event. So it'll just give you more time to prep and kind of come up with a strategy of how you're going to approach the current event and the next event as well. And the event hub allows you to see 8 previous events. So you can always go back and look at this captain without an avatar at level 13. Got a little bit of EP, but yeah, there's a lot of back end work. I really have to give a shout out to the engineering team because there was a ton of back end work that had to get done. In order for us to able to run multiple events at once. Have one in an announce and one in an active state. When building the event system years ago, when we first released the game, it was never anticipated that we would want to to do that, right? So there was a lot of back end work that had to be done to make sure we didn't break current events and pave the road for us to
Oh, hang on.
Oh god.
We've lost Ben at the crucial moment.
I guess he previewed too much and they
He
pulled
did.
him off the air.
Oh, Ben, it's been nice to know you. Oh, hang on. Have we actually lost him? We've lost both feeds.
Yeah,
Okay.
the screen share isn't live anymore.
No, they're both gone.
Yeah, to the
Okay.
galactic wind.
There's
Jeez.
probably a crucial final dot dash that we're missing that will tie the whole thing together.
I'm just expecting to see a gravestone with just a dash, dot,
It turns out that he was trying to show us a Kirk, but it was a Kirok, and we're missing.
Oh no, we have actually lost. He's gone to the wind. I think whoever was in charge is the
I
bullet
was
has gone.
just about to try and persuade him to do some event pulls with all that dilithium.
Yeah, too right.
It's
Look
not
at
his
that.
fault. When you live in the palatial temple up in the clouds, it's hard to
God.
get good internet.
If you had 499,999 dilithium, you'd pull. Oh, look at that. There's a test account for you. So it's interesting. The question.
Calm down and just like put like an ice pack over your crotch because I can see it from here.
The interesting question I was going to ask him is whether we can, are they going to be able to pull 2 weeks worth of packs at once? But let me just reach out and see what's happened.
I was going to open Pandora's box and ask if we'd ever have 2 active events at the same time. I don't think that would be extremely popular, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, if it was dual skirmishes, you'd be in your element.
Oh, that's true. I could do double skirmishes.
Double skirmish.
Double the sleep lost.
I could get 30 intel twice as fast.
What would be your ideal combination? I think it would have to be. Oh, hang on. Right, hang on. Let me. Yeah, I think we've lost Ben there.
He's reestablishing the
resyncing content.
It's crawling through the Jeffries tubes. Well, do we want to jump ahead with the week's event stuff and see?
Let's see if Ben reconnects. We'll have our.
I only have so much event material written down though, Idle.
That's all right. We'll get
and
that.
I used it all on my conundrum detour with the Lithium fighters.
I have to rearrange the windows for that. Oh, hang on. I've got a message. He's trying to get in. There's no hurricanes around that way, is there?
No, he wrote me a DM. He says, "Your show blows. I'm not coming back."
Oh, internet went down working on getting back up. So he'll be back soon. He'll be back in a bit. So hopefully he'll be back with us. Shall we detour? So let's compact chat. Have you been keeping note of these dots and dashes? Because I've seen some people working out the first couple, but I haven't heard anything since. I've not been able to take any down, but gosh, I was not expecting that. I think the last time I looked, it was 43B, 11A, 2B, but I'm not quite sure if that's some sort of hexadecimal code or not.
Well, we don't know if we have all the necessary information yet.
He's working on
some kind of cipher, right?
It sounds exactly like it is. It's Morse code.
While the big brains figured out, he did show us quite a bit of this new event hub.
Yes.
Yeah, I presume when he showed the level 13 captain, we will see all the past scores, which is something a lot of people have asked for. The data core, I think, has, I don't know if they've released that publicly, but I've seen the links around where they keep information on the past events, the top 50 scores, etc. And a lot of the event historians like to know that information to know who won events and stuff. So this will definitely be good for data tracking, good for planning which packs you want to pull and such.
Good for EPing. You can here's the thing. You guys were like, man, I miss stars so much. Like you were in my DMs being like, I miss you so much, man. I'm falling apart with that. And this is what you get. This is what you are clamoring to have back.
Too right.
So really, you've done this to yourself.
They said we were too professional. We'll show them.
I'm always down to filter up a bit.
You guys want to see my Captain Picard tattoo?
Where's your Funko? Where is he? We need him on it.
The Funko. He's hanging out.
While we're waiting for Ben to come back, shall we talk about this week's crew?
Yeah.
We've got some. Let me see
you
if I
want to?
can. We can. Well, to be fair, there is only one name we need to talk about, really. Narissa, or Reclamation Narissa, which kind of gives me the impetus to believe there will be other Narissas to follow.
Well, there'll be undercover Starfleet uniform Narissa, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
And excuse me, stream, I'm just going to tweak our layout here so I can do...
And the traits will say 10% less interest.
Right, let me do that, and if Ben comes back on, we'll see what we can do. But let's have a look at crew data. Let me pop this.
We had a 25% chance for your call to drop instead, and we lost that.
Guess what? I've got super good internet, so there was never.
And to be fair, the winner is the stream on my end for actually holding up throughout the whole thing for all the important stuff. So hurrah for all the difficulties we've had. Oh, hang on.
I heard a beep beep.
We might have Ben back.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
He has returned.
Sorry about that.
All right,
My internet
Before we
decided-
lose you again, are there any more dots and dashes we need to know about?
There are, but not yet.
Oh, hang on. Right, okay.
He's rationing them.
Okay. What do we need to do? Hang on, let me just tweak this back. Are you doing some more screen sharing?
Pass through the galactic barrier.
My first question, Ben, are you doing any more screen sharing?
I don't know at what point that it stopped. I think I went through everything.
You were showing us
You were showing
previous
us some of the
fleet.
boss events and leaderboards.
Yeah, the previous fleet leaderboards was where we got up to.
Okay, let me just.
And we were about to start convincing you to spend all that dilithium.
Do some six-pack
Aha.
pulls. Come on, Ben.
Okay,
Can
I've
you
got
see my screen now?
I've got your screen, but I haven't got you. But we can live with that.
Wow.
Interesting.
We got the better of two. Shan.
How about now?
There he is.
Hey,
There's the handsome devil.
he has
Okay.
Uh,
returned.
Careful, ladies. He's taken.
So I was talking about the announced
Yes.
event rewards, or I was talking about the leaderboards here
Yes.
for the
Yes.
current event. Okay, so leaderboards for the current event, everything's here. That you would see if you just normally just tap the event banner. Leaderboards, rewards, event rules. You can enter the event, do what you have to do, get VP, and then back in the event hub, we have this announced event. So I can go and click in here, and this is basically the event splash that would happen if it would be in an announce phase. And here you can still purchase the next pack. So from a content and live ops point of view, we're still trying to figure out how that would work, like having crew for the next event being able to be purchased while the event prior is running. So we're still trying to figure that out as well. But you can see the event rules, you can see who's going to get a bonus, you can prepare a week earlier now. You can come up with your strategy if you want to go all in for the current event or the next event. So this gives the player a little more information as to know what's upcoming, if they want to use the resources for the current event or next event, seeing all the rewards. And with the event hub, you can see 8 events back as well. So you can go back and look at this captain got 950 VIP. Doesn't have an avatar image, but yeah, so this gives the player just a little more information, and this opens the door for us to experiment more with mini events, and then hopefully soon to come objective events and achievement events.
Now, this might be a whole can of worms, but in the spirit of pre-planning for the next week's event, an event will start on Thursday, and then 24 hours later, we'll get the announcement of the next week's event and which crew and stuff are in it. I won't go so far as to ask you, can we get that info 24 hours earlier to help us plan our whole event? But something like that might tie into planning for the next week.
Yeah, I mean that whole process and that whole timeline of when do we announce the next event, that is 2 weeks ahead or a week ahead. We're still kind of thinking about that. During the design stages, our overall goal, which would be to, it would be really cool if we could just announce like a whole mega event, right, and see all of them there. Like that would be really cool. So that was something that we're kind of striving for, but that's a really big ask from the live ops team, and trying to figure out how we get to that point where we can be a month and a half ahead, on crew, on approvals, and things like that.
All I can see is just Shan just on the background, just going, "Oh, thank God, that gives me some time off on Fridays. I don't have to put up that post anymore." It's like,
She
you can
actually
just look in
just said
game.
in chat, it is not defined yet.
Yeah, that's sort of the immediate thing that struck out
Yeah.
to me is that as someone who used to be a moderator on the Star Trek Timelines Reddit, it's a case of, for a lot of people that's like an invaluable resource, but this kind of feature is a lot more sort of a contained way of showing that same information about event bonuses and allowing you to think without having to go, what my events notes, these crew bonuses. It's like this is a lot more self-contained, and it's nice UI. I like having all the events stacked up like that. It's very nice.
Nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, we're really excited about this. It just opens the door for so much for us to able to experiment with different kinds of events, mini events, different reward structures and stuff. So probably not going to see Dilithium again for a reward, but you might see some weird and other things. So it really opens the door design wise for us to kind of experiment.
I've got to ask, because can you actually pull with that dilithium you've got? Because there's a lot of people on that watch this stream that kind of go, "We want to see pack pulls."
Just don't pull the Kim pack, because I swear if you get Kim, I'm quitting the show forever.
Look at this.
Now this is in our dev environment, so we don't have all the right packs and whatnot. But yeah, I'll do a pull. There we go. Let's see what we got.
This is
All right,
this
the
is
animated
mini.
series,
This is
Lower
a
Decks
demo game.
confirmed.
All right, let's keep on pulling until we get a behold done.
All right, go on.
Ooh.
I know you do beholds a lot.
It's nice to see that even the devs get shitty straight drops.
This lack of beholds is a real pain point with me. If you could fix that up for next time, Ben, I would appreciate that.
If we could just lose straight drops.
Streamer loot? Yeah, streamer loot. Yeah, that's okay.
Streamer RNG, yeah.
50 packs later, and Ben's just like,
Hey, 5 in a row.
Alright.
Oh,
This is how you know it's live, folks.
Yeah.
to live on the. Oh,
Nice.
here we go.
Yeah,
Here we
this is
go.
our-
hang on, oh, what we got? Is it
Ooh, double behold.
Oh, look at this.
that?
You got to go
Right,
Troy.
Ben,
If you were around for the campaign beta, you would already have a copy of Troy.
Right. I think I'd have to go with Ripper. I am a big art sucker,
Okay.
so
I do love this autograph.
I think the art is really cool. But yeah, I mean, if like you said, I'd probably go with Troy to finish her off. But
I'm gonna be the contrarian and say that I picked Dana, just because I really love the art style and like the tinfoil like silver eyes, and I love that episode of like TOS. So
Yeah,
By
that's
the way,
awesome.
when are we getting Gary Mitchell from that episode?
Oh yeah, he is.
that's gotta be Gauntlet crew.
He is
Gary-
possibly
Gary
the most
Mitchell.
well-known
The
character in Trek.
omnipotent silver eyes, you are but bugs before me.
That's gotta be Gauntlet crew.
And Kirk with the ripped shirt and the Type 3 phaser in his hand as well. There's a mega.
Wait,
I'll
ripped
write it
shirt?
down.
Which episode? He's got ripped shirts in like 12 different episodes. All right, we have one more behold to get to, so hurry up and choose.
alrighty, what do we got?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
Eh,
a lot of collection crew there. They're all in collections.
lean in towards Doctor.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
I'd
Doctor.
pick Doc just because that episode is
Yeah.
hilarious. Because I think it's is that the one with Lieutenant Marseille?
Marseille, yeah, and Tori.
Oh god. If you want to add another Paris variant that isn't Paris, like Nick Lacano, then Lieutenant Marseille is the one you can piss everyone off with.
Doesn't he have like the douchey mustache?
Yeah,
as
he's
well?
got the little thin tash. And Ben's like, "Are you fucking nerds?"
We got a lot. There's a lot of crew. Pick and choose. Not my top, but
All right, so,
cool. So that's
who is your top? Who's your number one crew that you want to see in the game? Everyone has at least one.
So I said before, I'm a big Picard guy. I really like Riker as well. There's a Riker with a top hat that appeared in an episode that
Oh yeah, the Amanda Rogers one.
yeah, so that one I put that
Yeah.
Riker on our crew backlog, and hopefully we'll get to that one. But
Is that the,
but yeah, probably Riker with the top hat.
what was it? The season 5 finale? Is that the one where they go back with
Lara.
the Davidians?
Mm.
Yeah, the Mr. Pickard, which we actually
Yes.
have Frederick
Yes.
LaRouche, which we already have in the game.
Yep.
Oh, don't get started on Leroux. He's in the wrong pose.
You don't.
So next week, I believe next week is Star Trek Day.
Oh,
We have upcoming.
is it?
The 8th, yeah. And
Fake
this
news.
year we're actually going to CBS and everything Star Trek related, we're actually going to do some stuff about it.
Fantastic.
So StarTrek.com/day will be the hub for all Star Trek Day stuff. So we're
Excellent.
really excited, and we'll be pushing that in game on our message of the day, so be able to access those things. There will be an entire day of content there, so make sure to check that out, that CBS is hosting, which is really cool. And if you don't have CBS All Access, I know the first episode of Lower Decks is available for free on YouTube. I think it might be only in the US.
Yes, it is, yeah.
But you can try it out, see how you like it.
Don't ask how us in the UK have watched it. Just carry on.
Just skip up it. We're going to have some great limited time content in Star Trek Timelines as well, starting on
cool.
Star Trek Day, so on the 8th.
Fantastic.
And we're going to kind of stretch it out for a week long, so there'll be some cool stuff we'll drop, and it'll be throughout the week. So those things may include limited time achievements, limited time achievement rewards. Rewards could include Dilithium, maybe a legendary citation. You'll have to log in next week to see. But
And stop.
also we'll have we have our In This Together free pack that we talked about earlier. That'll be enhanced, so there'll be some extra goodies there. There may be a free legendary behold of 3 crew.
Okay, don't oversell this.
So maybe, and then a new low price point offer or 2 as well. So we want to celebrate Star Trek Day, and give you guys some cool stuff. The achievements, the rewards, we kind of boosted them up this time. So we're excited to see what you guys do with that Dilithium.
So is one of the achievements manually run 1,000 away missions? Because you're going to need a pretty good reward for that one.
Not 1,000.
The reward will be a 5-star like Captain Ben, and it will just be Ben like stapled over Picard's head.
Yes. When you've completed your 7 daily scans.
And I do have the little clues that I've been giving you for this treasure hunt throughout the whole time.
Okay.
I have a modifier for that. So this may take a minute, okay? But dot dash dash comma dot 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 comma dot dash comma dash comma dot dot comma dot 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 comma dot dash dot comma dot dot comma dash dash dot comma dot 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 comma dash comma dot dot comma dot 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 comma dot dash dot dot comma dot comma dot dot dash dot comma dash. Now I think that'll take you longer than 5 minutes to solve this time.
I think you're very right there.
My email to complain about your conduct on this stream.
No, look
Shan.
this is my fault, guys. I was talking to Ben this week, and I told him, this is verbatim. I said, "Hey, man, don't underestimate Star Trek nerds. They'll be like, every third letter in Ben's cipher corresponds to the number of pips on the Lieutenant Collar in season 5, episode 16, timestamp 12 minutes 56 seconds." So he's like, "All right, if you want it harder."
It was your fault. It's all your fault.
It's always fault.
All I can say is that I think that has gone beyond the three of us as capability. So the community, the guys who are watching on stream, please, I hope you are discussing this in depth, because I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to know what this leads out to be. If it's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, we have we don't have a mega event coming up very time soon. We have one that we're planning in October, but
Okay.
couldn't share anything like that. So I had to come up with something.
Something that will take them more than 24 hours to work out.
Maybe. I have faith.
Now, Ben, when you go to look at the YouTube video archive, you're gonna notice there's gonna be one dislike on the video, and that's gonna be me. Love
A single dislike.
We're already working on the next intro for when he comes on.
It's gonna be ... Ben, have you got anything more for us? Because we all our questions. Thank you to the community. Sorry, I should get closer to the mic. Thank you to the community for giving all your questions. They have absolutely been fantastic, and hopefully we'll be doing this sometime in the future. Can't say when for now, but Ben, have you any final words for us? Feel free to stick around. We're going to talk about the crew coming up for this event, for this Tuesday pack, and for the upcoming campaign. So Ben, you're more than free to stay around if you've got other places to be. I don't blame you. But yes, thank you for the community. Thank you, Ben, for coming back to us. We do appreciate you being here and sort of being this little insight into the workings of what you guys are doing behind the scenes, because we all here and in the community know you guys do a lot of hard work to sort of keep this game going and keep us as Star Trek fans, which is the kind of the forefront of anything, keep us amused.
Yeah, it's always a blast to be on. So hoping in a few months I'll have some more to share about a new shiny feature that we're all looking really forward to. So but yeah, it's always a blast. I really appreciate you having me on. But I still do have a lot of work to get done.
Go enjoy your vaporwave beer.
All right, thanks, guys.
Cheers. Thank you very much, Ben. It has been fantastic. Okay, it's just the four of us, just the three of us. Let's close
This
that.
time he dropped this.
Right, gentlemen.
I'm sure
Going
he didn't
for-
go dash on his way out.
Oh yeah. Oh God knows he gave us a
By
lot
the way,
of that, didn't he? Guys, I have Narissa on the screen. Talk about her. I really need a
We've been
wee.
going for more than 2 hours. So
We have. Hang on. I'll be back.
Oh, that means
that's why he's leaving.
Space to talk about Narissa. So, I haven't really looked at this crew. I'm now looking at-
OpenInsurrection.mp4 is the name that he put on the screen.
Yeah, I'm looking at this crew now. I don't want to look at this crew anymore. I mean, she's okay. She counts for Romulan collection. That's something, right?
Have we ever been at a loss for words before?
No.
I mean,
Well,
so I've seen a lot of nitpicky things, the art or, her pose or that her skill orders is off or whatever. I think Idle was right when he said by giving her that qualifier, the prefix in front of her name that we're apt to see more variants down the line, which would be nice. I mean, the spoiler alert, anyone who has not watched Picard in totality, spoiler alerts, turn the stream off now.
What's up?
That probably the emotional climax for me is when she kills Hugh. And so I don't know if that was a stop spoiling or I like Q, but I already warned them. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's more a kind of. It's just so like, oh, Hugh's it. Oh, no, he's dead. Oh.
I know. He's like, hey, Picard, we're old friends. Let's get together. And then
I love that moment. I love that moment when it's just they're all friends. There was no suspicion, no drama. It's like, oh yeah, I remember you. Let's hug.
So I think they could probably do that scene more justice with a character who has a little something extra. She's fairly bland, like you said. Romulan collection. I think she has the villain trait, which might hit on Omega, and that would be a lot of fun. Mustache twirling villain Mega. Try saying that 10 times fast. But beyond that, she's like Voyager 90 or something with that skill set. I think we'd probably have to see up Picard Mega before you unfreeze her.
Yeah, Picard Mega, which has so far not materialized even remotely.
We've had two sort of ish and one sort of linked one, haven't we? We had the pup.
Well, we had Astrophysicist, which was a quasi Picard Mega, but not really.
Before and after, which had a lot of, activated Darge, had a few. It was sort of, the Voyager Picard Mega with it, wasn't it?
Someone in chat is saying skirmish ability. We talked about that a lot earlier today off stream. She does off the top of my head, 300% damage at 10 seconds if you meet the cloak trigger. Now, the things that sort of throw the wrench in the machine here, for a cloak trigger, if you want to use auto battle, that means you can't have any crew that would disrupt the cloak trigger. So nothing that activates between, say, 6 seconds and 10 seconds. That's really tough. Secondly, her +7 attack boost, if you wanted to use her for that, is met by over 200 other crew +7 or better. So certainly for newer rosters, I mean, she could do something. You're probably going to have to do manual battles, which is a little more tedious, but 300% damage on a super rare also doesn't grow on trees. So there's a little something there, but I wouldn't recommend it as a general use option.
Yeah, not much else really to say about it. Like, we're probably going to be looking at like at least one or two other variants, one of her in the Starfleet uniform and thing. I can't help but think that they're going to be a bit more interesting. I was thinking like Narek, her brother, like one was not only a better written character, but also just a case of a much, he's a bit of stocking filler. He's like Voyager 50 with that skill set, but the fact of the matter is, it's more interesting than what she's got.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully we do get Lieutenant Narissa. The beer's starting to hit me now, you can tell. Lieutenant Narissa down the line.
the Bissum Narissa Narissa.
Miss Peyton List for the actress. For those that didn't know, she has also been in episodes of The Flash, if you haven't seen it before, playing the.
The actress did a very, very good job of writing of playing a character that was not particularly good.
They showed her a picture of a side of ham and said, "Just do the Shatner. Off you go."
I mean, to be fair, is that not every Romulan character ever?
Not to drive the show bus, but since we've been going for quite a while, how about let's just hit on the campaign, because that one's pretty interesting.
Yes. We won't talk about Repentha. Yes, so yes,
after 3 long months of having 2 skillers as the gold, we get the #1 command base in the game and the #1 super rare command base in the game.
Do you want to know what's more important than that? This is the first time in any single campaign that it's a crew I have. It's someone I actually can add stuff. I can immortalize it. I have a 3 or 5. I don't care if I'm going to waste the gold. I actually have it. All the rest have been like, it's a new crew. It's another 4 or 5. No, I have her. I can finish her. It's happened.
I also have 5, but you extol the virtues of this fine tier 4 crew.
Well, she's I don't know. I know. I'm going to be very happy to have her because, like you say, she is the #1 command. Her command base is absolutely astronomically high. She's kind of the Professor Sato of the command world. She's up there. I think. Like you said before, it's only First Officer Burnham that ever comes close to her.
Well, she doesn't have quite that gap. I think the gap in absolute numbers is like 60 or something. She ends up being, because I ran the numbers earlier, someone said, I have First Officer Burnham, do I need Keiko? Well, need is a relative term, but Burnham offers 96% of the command base that Keiko does. So it's not a huge gap, but I mean, if you like getting campaigns for all the other goodies involved, this is absolutely much better than we've had in recent months.
Absolutely.
And even though she doesn't have much elsewhere, the Voyage rank is tanking pretty hard. The skill set isn't there. There's no collections, Gauntlet, etc., etc. But #1 is #1. So if you wanted to throw a citation on her, if you like finishing crew, I wouldn't necessarily argue. She will absolutely make tons of shuttles for anyone.
And just look at that face.
Yeah,
That face just says, Miles.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna throw it out here, and I'm gonna say that Rosalind Chow, who is the actress for Keiko, gets a lot of undue hatred. And I feel that she is actually a pretty good character, and this was like her standout episode because she plays manipulative Par-Wraith Keiko, like who is this just awful. What the fandom's view of Keiko is to a T, and she's like, there's this great scene where she like throws herself off of the top bit of the promenade, like just to make sure that Miles knows that his balls are in the vice, and it's like she plays it really well, and it's a bit one note, but that's kind of what you get from Star Trek villains. But here's the thing: is I've had her at 1 out of 5 for at least a year now. I think I got her from a pack, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I wasn't here for the tourist campaign, and God knows I'm glad I wasn't, because I don't think Trip was remotely worth it.
Nope.
I struggled to see the point in me grabbing the campaign for her when I have plans to cite Governor Worf, I have a First Officer Burnham, and I have EV Suit Burnham all ready to cite.
Interesting.
Because that's the number one is number one. For how long? And it's a raw number.
Very true.
And it's a case of Keiko is not an event name, really. We've had Bridal Keiko, then there was Mirror Keiko, so she's had 2-3 events. And this one's inflated by Scoundrel. I think she has the villain trait as well.
Well, she was released in May of 2018, so this will be 28 months with her at the top. Now, there are names like Sata, which you imagine would be at the top for a long time more, but like I said, she doesn't have that huge gap, so it wouldn't shock me to see someone dethrone her, as it were. You'd still use her on shuttles. I mean, if you're in the camp of I sometimes get campaigns, I would say go for it for this one. Even Stellar Ice, the noted VIP Zero player in Discord earlier this week, was very tempted by this. So,
what would happen, Stella? What would you do?
Next time she's on, we're going to rub her no end about this. But if you can tempt Stellar Ice with a money offer, then you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, maybe I just have a thing against raw bases, or maybe it's just a case of I prefer them teamed with characters that I think have strong event histories. But I don't know, I just don't quite see it with this one. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's the case of she's been hanging around my event thing for too long, and I'm sick of seeing her. But it's a case of maybe I'll be more sold when it's all the way down on the premium track, and it's you've got 1 day left to get 4 copies.
Well, like you said, if you have competing crew like First Officer Burnham, Vice Admiral Janeway, then you're doing pretty good in command. She's not necessary, but the campaign as a whole for $10 generally is one of the better deals in the game. So
we've always said that, even even when we've had our Lunar Khans, we've had our tourist trips, even the bonuses of having those premium pools, those merits, all the honor and everything in there. Your value of money is worth anything, but that is currently one of the best deals in the game, regardless of the gold crew.
Just for some context for the stream viewers, I was obviously off the show for a few times, and I haven't really been playing the game that much recently. I've been slowly acclimating back into it, and I haven't spent any money since I uninstalled the game a little while ago. So if I were to go for anything, I would probably go for this campaign, but it's just a case of if I want to cross that gulf again.
And if anything, I think there's a little bit of a Disney Plus collaboration here, because Rosalind Chow is in fact in Mulan. She is one of the characters in the new Disney remake, so maybe there's a little bit of a CBS push there for, hey, actress recognition.
There were many things I was expecting to say, Earl, but that was not one of them.
Hey, we do deep dives on this show.
Oh, yeah.
This is true.
That was the thing. I saw the Mulan trailer and I thought, I know that voice somewhere.
Miles.
No, bless her.
Do
She,
you
like
have
Star said,
the,
she is very good at what she does now. I do like. I actually one of the few people that actually like Keiko, and I like the fact you've kind of got a good couple in the series.
Do you know what I think I might have said that this was like my favorite Keiko. I lied. My favorite Keiko episode is that one where she's unintentionally pushing Kira and Miles into an affair because Kira is living with them in their quarters. And like Miles is doing like the massages, and it's all getting a little bit hot and heavy. And Keiko is there acting as if it's like a polyamorous relationship, just constantly like, "Oh, you should take her down to like the vacation cottage."
She's like, "This is my thing."
Get her into the bath, Miles, and it's like.
I take it you were a big fan of the Narek and Narissa storyline too. Is that right?
I thought it was hilarious how like because like Cole Meany is an amazing comedic actor, and like Nana Vista is underrated in that respect as well. But it's like Rosalind Chow just playing completely oblivious was hilarious.
I love the Keiko moment. If we're going to talk about good Keiko moments, I love the Keiko moment where, you know, I cannot remember the specifics of the episode. However, throughout the entire thing, O'Brien he's being criticised for something, and Keiko's like, "No, he's innocent. He's innocent. He never drinks coffee before 3:00." And at the end of the episode, he's having a cup of coffee. And I can't help but think of the airplane moment where she's looking at him thinking, well, Miles never drinks coffee after midnight. For those that haven't watched Airplane, go and watch it, but it's very applicable to that episode.
Isn't that the Prisoner O'Brien episode?
No, I don't think it's that one.
Armageddon game, I think.
Yeah.
And it's where like Bashir and O'Brien get like marooned, whatever. But like that's the standout of the episode is like, like you never drink like sweet coffee before 3. And he's like, of course I do. And then
She
goes
convinced
around,
the entire senior
I
staff like that
changed
can't be
his flight by
O'Brien.
accident.
Okay, do you happen to have Warlord Kess's
I
card
do.
for this
I
week?
do indeed. There she is.
As much as we all love Slim Chow, it's getting kind of late.
Yes, there she is. Tier and Possessed Kess, Tier 3. One of the better Super Rare cards you can get in the game. And to be honest, one I had for quite a while unfrozen whilst I was still sort of improving my golds. You know.
We've talked before about Kess having these very, I don't know what the best word is, exotic and different crew. And she certainly fits that mold. Command Med is not a common pairing. She is the #1 command by like a big margin. If you were to open a spreadsheet and scroll down, you'd see her name, you'd see a bunch of gold crew, and then somewhere down below is the #2 command base. So she's had that lead for a long time, like Kess, or like Keiko. She's better though for her rarity because she's a little more useful on voyages. I don't know her traits off the top of my head, but Kess doesn't get a whole ton of a whole ton of events. So Ocampa, Romantic Civilian, those are pretty esoteric. I don't think you're going to see a ton of events out of her. We talked about villain in the past. If we do get a villain mega, she wouldn't. This campaign alone could probably carry whatever faction events are contained therein. But yeah, I just like that she stands out. Which, I mean, when you have 300-400 super rares, not a lot of crews stand out. She stands out.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, I think it's Oh no, sorry, Idle.
Please.
please, talk over me on my own show.
More time to drink. Yes.
Yes, true. I think we were talking about Combat Medic Paris at the time, and I was like, do we need to move him down? And I remember you pointing out, yes, but that skill set is killer. Even if his voyage rank is tanking, it's like he's in, I think, roughly the 130s as well. It's a case of you will not find command medsec and these permutations in 4-star almost at all, and in 5-star very rarely. Like it's like warship EMA and then some real dregs.
I think Catsuit Troy is the only other one at the gold level.
Yeah, and she's like command sick with like a med tertiary. Having actual like big strong med power team to those is rare. So you will find yourself using crew like Tyrion Cass for a lot longer than you think, because hey, look, a command med thing came up. Who do you have? You don't have anyone. I'm going to answer that question for you. You have no one for that because no one has anyone for that. So yeah, I think I remember writing up Grandma Kess's note, and I mentioned to him, all of her variants are very subtly strange and weird. Like there's Tyrion Kess and Logan Kess is one of the only other Dip Eng Med crew. Fury Kess is this weird all things for all people crew. I don't know. I like that it's almost a consistent thing that of Kesses are always strange, weird, good cards.
We've talked about Keiko being a breath of fresh air, but I pulled up the campaign list, and if you go back for just the super rares, the last few tourist read, you know, there's nothing there. Captain Proton Paris, old stats, hard build. Reinforcement Stamets, he's okay, but it doesn't take much to replace a 2-skiller for most players. And then Amanda Grayson, which, you know, we could do an episode on that. So in terms of both super rare and legendary levels, this is a big step up from the last few months. So if you've been holding out, hoping that Wicked Realm will correct course and give us a little better value for our money, I think this is a good time to jump back in the stream.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Do we want to talk about the amazing, the incredible, the incomparable Prisoner Kim? Or...
Oh, indeed we should. This was such a weird... Like, this came out of the left field, out of nowhere.
YouTube timestamps will not be up right after the show because I need to go to bed after this. But,
YouTube
so
will be up straight
all
away.
The dots and dashes in the 3-hour stream that we did. But
yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing the Discord after this for people just going, what the fuck?
I'm telling you, it's going to be Drink More Overhaul team. It's going to be what it is.
Prisoner Kim, and I don't know if you said this on stream or maybe it was in chat last week, Stars, but we were talking about Dr. Pollard, and you said she's become sort of a one-trick pony, but what a trick. And that is Prisoner Kim. Now, he's had in what, almost 5 years of timelines, he's had 3 half factions. So I know that the past doesn't necessarily mean the future, but you're looking at 6 days of shuttle usage, shuttle bonuses, out of what 1,500 days were going on of the game. That's not a lot, but his one trick is outstanding. He has the top voyage score for Eng Med crew. He has the top Eng Med amount that you can contribute to a voyage outside of those crew who have the top 2 skills like Medic, Jet Reno, etc. He's number 8 overall. It's just the perfect marriage of power and skill set, where if you cite him now, what year is this? I feel like I just woke up. September 2, 2020. On September 2, 2022, you'll still be using him on voyages. I can promise you that. So, you know, wading into a 6-pack is always tricky territory, but he's flanked by 2 good arena options with Fury Kess and Regic Jarrus. So, and I think Tanis, the super rare, was a recent crew. So if you missed out on him, that's a +1 diplomat. So that's one of the more tempting packs for golds, but we can't necessarily sign off on ever pulling 6-packs.
Roll responsibly, you won't always be as lucky as Ben.
You can get the Ripper you really want.
He got 5 straight drops in a row, so, you know.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. So yeah, like this Prisoner Kimmy reminds me a little bit of Stranded Quark actually, because like I think Stranded Quark is like what, Voyage 20 something now. He was like Voyage 13 for the longest time, and that's kind of where he's stuck in my mind. Because it's again that thing of relatively low bases, decent enough proficiencies that you could maybe use him in Gauntlet. I think he's got what like Kim's got like a number 5 Eng Med, whatever. It wouldn't hold up in court.
No, I think he's number 10 is his best Gauntlet rank.
Like you said, Auto, like you were just sort of eyeing up the sort of the bases and proficiencies, and you're thinking, nah, that can't be anything more than sort of like, you know, top 30 or so. And then actually, there's just the little modifiers in the proficiencies that just sort of push him up there ever so slightly.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to ask Ben. Of course, we didn't have time, but his best base is rank 26. For a new crew, you would expect a little better. His proficiencies don't come out to anything good, but it's like that perfect balance where it's just good enough here, just good enough there, and when you combine them from Voyages, it's great. It's like the we said earlier, the anti-Gary 7, where he debuted with, I think, the number 2 psi base and the number 2 proficiency total. And of course, that makes him a monster on Voyages. This Kim is like an anomaly. I can't figure out where he's getting these stats from, but on Voyages, he's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And I think you were watching the episode. I think you weren't too massively happy with it, but I actually quite like that episode. It's a decent
The
Paris
shoot?
Kim episode, which I'm a bit of a sucker for.
The shoot?
Yeah,
The
Yeah,
the
that's
shoot.
the one.
I was going to call it the poop shoot, but it turns out he was a pretty good card, so we couldn't use that joke.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the dialogue is really cheesy, but at the end, the moment of friendship does tug at the heartstrings. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that moment of, the thing I'll remember is when you stood up and said, "No one touches man, he is my friend."
Hmm.
And that's the thing, even though it's a mediocre episode, it's a case of how many good episodes does Harry Kim get? Very few, really. Like, I'll take a mediocre episode over some garbage like, I'm not going to rubbish Fairhaven because I think you have a soft spot for that. But
Don't you dare! That's a fantastic. That and what was the other one? It's like the two-parter of the holodeck.
Spirit Folk.
Yeah. That was a step down, but still.
Listen, if you want your Garrett Wang in-depth stuff, go listen to the Delta Flyers podcast because it's Garrett Wang and Robert Duncan McNeil, and I think they've just finished season 1. They're now on to season 2. They're doing rewatches of the Voyager episodes and giving all the behind-the-scenes stuff, and it's very much worth listening to. I've actually really enjoyed it. I had, for those that know me, I had a long weekend doing a lot of driving, so I had a good chance to catch up on it. Yeah, they've had interviews with the actress that played Seska. They've had interviews with Robert Beltran, Auto. And apparently one of the future episodes I've not listened to, they've got Mr. Riker himself. So, worth a listen to. I signed up for the Patreon for that one as well, so it's worth doing.
I think that's a worthwhile one.
Yeah, it's really interesting. If you not even if you just like Voyager, if you like some of the behind the scenes stuff on how the way Rick Berman worked, how Trek was in the 90s, like Garrett Wang himself is an absolute monster on details. He just remembers everything. It's fantastic. It's definitely worth a listen to.
Speaking of Patreons, I hate to bury this in the third hour. I'm sure we'll plug it better in the future. If you go on the former Disruptor Beam forums, Wicked Realm Games forums, and in the Bridge subforum, there'll be a thread or two about the data core, and they've moved servers now. They are trying to lighten their costs, but also could use some help. They've set up a Discord, so if you use that tool, we've used it a lot for this show. Go there and you can donate. Even a very small amount helps.
There is a
Patreon.
Patreon.
Chip in.
There are overheads. I've sort of had a chat with the guy that's sort of running the project, and the guy that and Temporal Agent 7 is sort of giving, who started the Data Core project, is helping them out a lot. But their overheads aren't huge. You don't have to donate as much, but they do have a Patreon. It's a fantastic thing. If you use the Data Core a lot, which a lot of us do, it's well worth keeping up to date. So go and have a look, Yeah.
And in fact, if you wanted to run a data core comparison on this crew versus 2 of the other 5-star crew with this thing, you would see that there is a massive gulf between Prisoner Kim, his next immediate replacement, which is Bowell, and then also his love child, Temporal Prisoner Chakotay. So if you want a direct upgrade from those 2 names, who might have been holding down Voyages, I can't recommend you go wading into 6-packs, but keep an eye on this crew. If he turns up in like a event 3-pack or as a campaign, definitely worth grabbing.
And on that note, I think this is time to not only let Auto go to sleep, but to say thank you very much for Ben for joining us tonight, for Wicked Realm Games for giving us this opportunity, for Shan for popping into the chat and talking to people as well, because I say we haven't paid too much attention to chat tonight because we have our own agenda. But thank you very much, Wicked Realm Games. Thank you very much, you two to the side of me.
That sounds so insidious. We have our own agenda.
We have our agenda. We're going to get him to pull all that 500k dilithium. But yes, thank you very much for everyone that submitted questions, be it on Reddit, on Discord, or on the forums. I expect from what Ben said, we will be doing this very soon again. So please submit questions to myself on Discord. I will keep a list of them onto timelinestalks@gmail.com. We have an email. And also on the forums, just send me a DM. We will see you next week, where we will talk about next week's show. the crew that will be coming up, and you can definitely tell I've had far too much to drink, so this is absolutely a time to say